The Monsters Playbook is an adventure podcast for grown-ups. It contains violence and profanity and deals with adult themes that may be uncomfortable for some listeners. Specific content warnings can be found in the episode show notes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Monsters Playbook, an actual play Monster of the Week podcast where the stakes keep rising higher and higher, but our minds and jokes stay way down in the gutter. This week on the cover story, it's a full-on assault. The Clockwork Child is under attack, but there's more going on than meets the eye. This is a show about fighting, so there's plenty of that. But first and foremost, it's a show about figuring it out.
I'm John, and I play Mark Clayton.
I'm Lauren, and I play Kira and Anna Ashwood.
I'm Miah, and I play Theo Nessos.
I'm Jonny, I play literally everybody else. Let's figure this out. I do need, as per always,
Our start of mystery.
well, roll call, first of all.
So Mark, Theo, Kira, Anna are here.
Lowry, Lincoln, Ramsey. I think it might still be Ramsey. Donovan and Tommy.
Okay.
And then Thugamon and Gale and Princeling are in the cave.
Can we roll our pre-mystery rolls now, please?
Yes, you can roll your fucking...
I got a 10 for Stars Align, so I get 2 holds.
Anna rolled a 9, I think, for her, that vision one that she's got. I forget what it's called. Divine Providence.
Mark rolled an astonishing 11.
Kira, Woman with a Plan, is a 12. She gets 2 holds. And then her sect roll, she rolled a 14.
Damn. Kira, is this the first time you've succeeded your sect roll?
No.
Okay.
Why?
Because I didn't realize until this moment that what happens on a success is you just get help.
Oh, I've gotten a mixed a lot.
You've gotten mixed a lot.
Yeah.
Where they like have to give you a job. So I had thought that this meant that they would give you some kind of an easy job like Boss from Beyond, but no, you just get help in the field or some useful information, which you can call upon at your leisure.
Okay.
So I'm just going to give you that as like a hold that you can reach out to them and get some kind of information that they could reasonably have access to.
Okay.
Anna, you get a cloudy vision. I think it's more symbolic than concrete. Oh, this is rude, but I'm going to do it anyway. You see 2 hands of 2 different people reaching towards the sky, like upwards into the clouds. After a moment, one of the arms sort of falters a bit and appears to be caught and is only being propped up by means of the other figure's other arm. And finally, when they stretch a given distance into the sky, the propped up arm is allowed to fall and the other figure ascends into the sky.
Can you explain that one more time?
I'll make it easier by telling you that Mark's arm and someone else's arm are both like stretching up into the sky. Mark's arm begins to falter. The other figure catches his arm and makes it continue to reach. After they both reach a given threshold, Mark's arm is allowed to drop lifelessly, and the other arm continues to reach skyward. And Mark, you get a very clear vision. It starts with hearing the sound of metal being removed from blood and skin, like a sword being pulled out of someone. And then you can see that like the blade itself is dripping with blood and is sort of shaken off and then actually like spins around to reveal a metal hand on the other side. And you can see that it's like tucked itself into the arm of a articulated robot. Blank ceramic face. It has carved wig, like it looks like also made of some kind of ceramic metal of like a very short, tight bob, like a young woman in the 1920s.
Interesting.
A second one that looks identical, except the hair is much, much, much shorter and visually masculine. You can hear a blade being removed from skin. You can see it swivel around, revealing a die-cast metal hand on the other side. And the threshold of the Clockwork Child is totally destroyed, with like several dozen literal bricks having been physically pulled out. And Oh, well, then this becomes quite grim indeed, because the other sound that would have gone along with the blade being removed from a body would have been the cutting and tearing of bone. And then this male-looking automaton thing approaches the safe in the back, swivels his hand around to reveal a very sharp, thin stiletto dagger, and fits a human hand onto it, which he then uses to open the safe and open the door, revealing 2 glowing-eyed skulls.
So this is the vision that Mark has.
That's the vision that
So
Mark
this is
has.
yet to happen, but Theo also knew that the riders had seen the Clockwork Child, so like
It rode up to. Yep.
would be potentially attacked soon. But then that's a separate thing from this fucking robot creature or whatever.
Mark's role entitles him to a clear vision. The riders were there as well.
Okay.
Sort of in the midst of a good amount of sort of battlefield dust. They were headed through and cleaning up or sifting through the wreckage for prizes.
Okay.
How do they even know that the skulls are there?
Also, are they creatures of... Never mind.
Well, I mean, the riders are.
Yeah.
But this robot thing, maybe not. Robot thing honestly reminds me of Rex Crook.
Rex Cook's a robot?
No, but we know he has a thing for fucking ceramic masks, and
Yeah.
the way that Johnny described the face
Yeah, it sounded
sounds
like
a little
it.
bit like that.
Yeah.
Which we don't know exactly who Rex made a deal with, but it could potentially be the Star King. So that's very likely. Okay, cool,
Neat.
great. So how do we segue in after that?
What I'm actually preferring to imagine is that, like, basically after you had been sort of staying there after your run-in and eventual victory over the Reaper, you've been kind of collecting yourselves and resting, which, first of all, by the way, everyone, if you have harm, will heal up precisely 1.
Hell yeah.
So you have had some time to sort of rest. And the way, I mean, as written, both Anna and Mark, you would just sort of like be attacked by these visions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of imagine like Theo being like, "Oh no," and that, like Anna and Mark's like vision senses are like tingling, and they're like, "What did you see?" And then it's like, visions attack us as well.
Yeah, I think Mark like with his vision, he just kind of like almost falls back a little bit, like, oh my god.
What?
The Clockwork Child. Who has access to the safe? Someone's hand.
Then Anna looks at Lincoln and is like, I mean, only we really have access to the safe, and really it's just Lincoln and Ramsey. But
And creatures from there cannot access the safe.
No. It wasn't them accessing it. It was they took his hand and accessed it.
and then I think Kira's like, wait, so Theo, you just saw this? They're already there?
Yeah, the riders are there.
We need to go now.
Oh, fuck. I think Kira kind of like holds her head for a second and is like, Thugamon, you said that you make trips from here and there pretty regularly, right?
As little as I possibly can, but yeah. Yes.
Could you get us to the Clockwork Child right now? To a place that we need to go?
I don't know what that is.
It's a place that we work. And I think Kira and Anna would try to describe the best, help orient where it is. Say, we need to get there as soon as we can, and we can't go back through the other way. Can you send us there, please?
Lincoln, I think, will be like, I can handle this. Let me give you my card. And reaches into his vest and holds out a little business card, which when Thugamon takes it, it glows super hot and then sort of crumples away into dust. Thugamon shakes his head as though slightly dazed and is like, okay, I know where that is now.
Thanks, Lincoln.
Always have a way home, you know?
Is there any way that you can get us there?
We kind of need to get there now.
Yeah, here. And I think Mark goes and tries to unzip a portal. All right, let's...
You
wait.
can't.
You can't, not here.
We're in the
Shit,
Sea
that's
Kingdom.
right.
That's why I asked Thugamon.
Sorry. Yeah.
Do you want him to come with you?
He comes with...
Then roll manipulate someone.
Me?
Whoever wants to ask him.
Oh, okay. I guess Mark's doing it. Go ahead.
8.
To which I think he will go with you, but he won't leave Gale and the Princeling behind. He will insist on bringing them with.
That seems reasonable to me. Can we go now?
Yeah, we don't really have time to argue about this. Fine, they can come.
Please and thank you.
Okay. So he'll extend each of his enormous arms in a sort of half circle to basically bring you all in for a group hug.
Okay.
And he will wrap his arms around all of you. They are Warm, like bath water.
Yeah, I think there's like an overarching kind of just groan from everybody.
I don't like this.
Ooh, oh god damn it! I wish I would have asked to just do something, but never mind. It's too far now. It's too. We're too past.
Okay.
We're already on our way. But I had a really cool idea that I wish I would have done with Inako.
So Thugamon wraps his arms around the whole group of you, and then as he moves to Titan, just squeeze just a bit more, and an odd sensation comes over all of you. Anna goes, "Wait, shit! I have an idea," and then all of your vision goes cloudy. The sense you get is like everything has gone cloudy, and it is like you are in a really steamy sauna. But then you feel yourselves start to move as though you've been like swept up in a spring water river, and it's pulling you not unpleasantly through the tides of space. And then it's like this raft that he's made of himself smacks into a stone and goes like careening off course, and then you feel underwater and you feel yourselves being pulled by some kind of undertow, and then you like are smacking again and again into some kind of wall, and then you just splash into the street.
Oh, not in the building, in the street.
Not in the building.
Okay.
Ugh, what was that?
What we were supposed to do. What do we see?
Here is what you see. There is a 3-story tall egg-shaped force field around the building which contains the Clockwork Child. Only the part which contains the Clockwork Child, to the point that it being attached to other buildings mini-mall style, there is a noticeable break, like something has very quickly sawn through the steel and stone. You see a group of 5 or 6 horses, I'll put in quotes, because only probably one of them properly looks 100% like a horse as you understand it to be. One of them is basically a 3-wheeled motorcycle that has a metal horse head in the front. One of them appears to be entirely made out of interlocking red thorny vines. And then, a couple of them are appear to be kind of sort of horses, but instead of horse heads, they have one looks like a bat-winged demon. One looks like hellish ox. One looks like a canine sort of muzzle. And then you see a number of mismatched armored knights sort of standing at attention, and one of them calls out behind them, "Sir, they're here." And then you can see an armored hand reach out, and someone places a melted metal helmet into it, and that person affixes it to themselves and stands up, and out into the street walks the melted soldier.
The melted soldier.
Took your time, didn't ya?
So, okay. Melted soldier and a bunch of other of these riders. Do we see this robot thing at all?
Roll read about situation.
10.
You can see one of them in between the wall.
There's more than one.
There were 2 in the vision. One with
okay.
One with finger curls, flapper hair, and one with pasted down.
So I think for clarification, Jonny, the melted soldier is the leader of the riders,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
So inside the force field, between the wall of this field and the wall of the store, there's the female-haired robot that is bizarrely quickly zipping back and forth, very clearly dodging gunshots from inside. And she's flipping balletically, but also occasionally will sort of extend a leg to one side, and a jet of fire will hurl her with incredible speed to one direction. And then when she lands, that jet engine has flipped around and is afoot once more. I think also with that roll, you can see, so basically across the street from here, there would be a kind of collection of trees, on the other side of which would be people's yards. This would be that's where the neighborhoods kind of start. Amidst those trees, you can see a woman really dressed like a cartoon witch with a big purple pointed cap.
So what's her face?
Ruby.
God damn it.
Is it Ruby?
It's not Ruby.
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
She has a big, long, dark linen robe, but with a hodgepodge-looking breastplate and pauldron combo that definitely looks to have been salvaged from several different defeated soldiers. And she's chanting and wiggling her arms around in a way like she's casting a spell.
We don't recognize this woman at all.
Mark, roll plus sharp.
Can I roll read a bad situation to open up my third eye?
Sure.
13.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a degree more of the lineup of the riders. This is a woman who they simply call the caster. She's basically a psychopathic magic user. I think there are theories that she isn't actually a being originally from there, that she's a person who found herself there and sort of went mad. She has incredible magical powers and crafting abilities.
I rolled a 10.
Okay.
So I get 4 questions.
You get 4 questions. Another person who you do see here actually attaching his signature weapon is a fully armored man, hefty looking, who you know is named Reiter, Scourge of Fate. The weapon he's attaching to his right arm is a modified shield that has a scratched out icon that you know to represent the Witchwood. He wields it upside down, having taken the sort of pointed edge and pounded it into very vicious blade. His is the horse made of thorns. Another one that you would know, but who you do not see here, is the pronghorn rider, which is their sort of speed scout. This is someone who both rider and mount have steel-wrapped antlers attached to them, and they're known primarily for being just unbeatably fast. And then there are others that are also interesting, but I don't have to tell you about them.
Cool.
Theo, ask your unforgivable amount of questions.
Who is the weakest opponent?
I'm picking off the little one first.
I mean, if this was the savannah.
Do you mean easiest to kill, or do you mean least able to inflict damage?
I'm meaning, like, who would be the easiest for us to take down?
The caster.
Okay.
The term is glass cannon.
And then I'm going to ask the reverse of that question. Who is the strongest? Yeah, who's the biggest threat?
Who's the biggest threat? Melted Soldier.
This might be obvious, but what's the best way to protect the Clockwork Child?
Take down that force field.
The force field is between us and that one robot, right?
Yes. At least one robot is inside the force field.
I do want to just make sure that this is on record that the Clockwork Child is my haven and there are protection spells on the Clockwork Child.
Oh, I know.
My last question, Jonny, is how do we send the riders back to there?
Ooh.
What I will tell you is, because technically this is your third eye talking,
My third eye looking.
your third eye blind, sending them back to there is simple. You just have to kill them in the traditional sense. But I will tell you what you know is whatever brought them here in the first place would be able to just bring them back anyway.
Wait, do you have another question?
No.
No, but I do get to ask if I see any invisible things.
And one of those invisible things I'm wondering, and I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, but like, is there anything protecting them from the overworld? Because like something that brought them here, is there like some type of like shield or something like that from adverse effects of being in the normal world? And I don't know if that what she has, you can answer that question, but never mind.
Well, I can.
It's just like how Lowry can't be here without. Yeah.
Yep, I know.
Okay.
I know what you mean.
I will say, by the way, I hope this would have been unspoken, but Anna would have had Lowry go back into her head.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have a body yet.
I think the only properly invisible thing that you can see is, that there is some kind of protective hex that has been placed on each of the riders. But that's all the information I have to give you with that.
Yeah, I do want it. I mean, is it possible for Theo to try and relay some of this information to the group?
I'd allow it on Skynet.
Yeah, I think Theo will quickly say, there's a protective hex on the riders, the caster is the weakest, the melted soldier is the strongest, and we should take down that force field if we want to protect the Clockwork Child. But I don't know whose force field that is. I'm guessing the caster. And I feel like Theo might grab Mark, because Mark can teleport, and be like, Yano's in there, can you get to him? I'm going to go after the caster.
You got it. Can Mark sky step inside to Yano's location?
When you attempt, you wind up just a foot or two away from where you started and losing balance as though you just knocked your head into a too low garage door.
That's why there's a force field.
Son of a bitch.
I'm going to do it again harder and see if I can get through.
Roll use magic.
12.
Okay. You don't lose balance and fall on your ass this time, but you just like disappear into a puff of smoke and reappear within that same puff of smoke.
Fuck. They've got it blocked.
Yep. Oh, we need to take it down. Jonny,
I'm Jonny.
I know we're doing so many roles here, but does Kira maybe know any sort of magic from her dark past that could help take this force field down?
Why don't you roll that?
I don't know about you guys, but are you thinking like kind of splitting up and taking on different parts of the battle?
Yeah, I'm like
Don't.
So I was
split
thinking I was thinking
Well, we're still here. We're just
they're
taking
all
on
here.
different...
We just have
I
different
know.
tasks. It's a good project management.
What the fuck?
Don't bring work into this.
This is our work. We're monster hunters, Mark Clayton. Yeah, I'm also just curious about like the force field in general. Like, is it preventing? Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious on how it works. I rolled a 10.
Okay.
So, what dark magic could I know? Do I know that could help here?
Here's the story of your past that I want to tell you.
Do you want me to ask? How about instead if I ask? Because I get to ask two questions. How about if I first ask when I dealt with this last time? What did I learn?
Okay.
How about that?
That's better. Because here's what you learned. The sort of school of this magic is of the sort that it is a kind of magic that must be continually cast.
Focused.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the time that you encountered it before, it wasn't particularly this is good. For this kind of force field you've not seen before, but this kind of magic you have seen before. And in the past where you had seen it was in the form of an ensorcelled old man whose slavish devotion to a certain kind of task was enforced by this kind of enthralling magic that you recognized as having to be constantly and consistently cast and maintained.
It's like a concentration spell. From
Kind of,
D&D.
but you
Yeah.
weren't sure who originally cast the spell, but the person who was maintaining it was the man's dog.
Okay.
And as long as basically anything maintained that kind of attention, the man would remain under that person or animal's control. And the man was starving himself playing fetch with this dog in the backyard. What's cool is that is a clue, but it doesn't sound like a clue.
It doesn't.
I'm great at
doesn't.
this.
You do those so many times. I listen to like some of these other pods, and I'm like, oh, their keepers are so nice. That was such a that was such a helpful clue. And then I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Okay. Could I ask then with my second question, like, so knowing what I know, so there's a caster, but then there's usually somebody who's also maintaining it, but they're not necessarily the same person or the same entity. Is that what you're kind of telling me?
That's the piece of information that I'm intending for you to take away from this. That if a caster can continually cast and refresh the spell, then the spell, if they don't, then the spell will fade. But if, in this case, a dog can swoop in and maintain the same kind of attention or energy, then the spell won't fade.
So then I guess with my other question, since I don't think you're going to allow me to ask the black magic one, could I ask, do I know who might be behind this? So I'm kind of trying to see, like, is there somebody who I think is like casting and then somebody who's maintaining? Can I pick it out who might be the maintaining the spell?
It's a really good question, Lauren.
And I think in the spirit of giving you a hint that doesn't sound like a hint,
Wonderful. I love it. In the spirit.
and I will tell you that the pulse or the pace of the spell as you can read it currently, like when you read it in the past and it was the dog, it was very frantic and like it would be very high level and then low when the dog got tired, and like it was very sort of chaotically enforced. This is being refreshed and maintained extremely rigidly with an almost mechanical regularity of maintenance. The energy is flowing in at a inhumanly uniform rate.
So like robotically, you might say?
Maybe, I might say that.
Okay.
I haven't said it, but I might.
Okay, then I think with that in mind, I think Kira's going to say, there's somebody who's casting the spell and somebody who's maintaining it. If I had to take a guess, it might be that fucking robot.
Now, you're talking about the robot we don't see or the robot in the thing?
It might be a robot.
Yeah. I was more so asking like Lauren.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I also am wondering, because Anna has a fucking idea and I am bewitched by this idea. Anna turns to Lincoln and is like, the woods, how do they get to the woods to hide?
They're in my store. What?
Yano, Catrail, Iniko, all the people that are in the store, the fucking skulls, there's the woods somewhere. You mentioned the woods, that you were going to go to the woods. Can they get to the woods from the Clockwork Child? Can they hide there?
Oh my God, that's a good idea.
Suck it, Jonny.
Anna has a good idea every now and then.
Astonishingly, Anna just had a good idea.
I love it.
You do from inside. You hear like inside the force field a muffled shotgun shot, and then like something lights off the roof and clanks onto the floor, and then from the roof, another of these robots jumps and lands and reaches down to pick up its arm, which is what had landed on the ground, and tries to fit it back into place. Yeah, the spare room tapestry. How do we get a message to them?
Skynet, Mark, can you contact Catrell Yano?
Yeah. Mark opens up Skynet and reaches out to them. To Yano first.
Mark, roll plus weird.
8.
Pick a glitch.
Hurt me.
I could see it like trying to push through the force field, like
Mark's ear starts
Finger
to
just
bleed.
breaks.
So yeah, you can get through, and yes, it is like you're focusing really hard. The rest of you, if you're looking at Mark, you can see his face like get really red. A trickle of blood comes out of his left nostril and ear. And Mark, you have like basically trying to do this is like trying to push your face through a hunk of rock. You take 1 harm.
It hurts.
Can I do something?
Of course you can.
Is there anything else with OOC, John and Lauren, that you want to do before Theo runs off?
Well, I think
Well, that's
Kira
a
might
great question.
Kira might join you and also hop into the fray. But
Okay, that's fine.
yeah, I think after she says that to Theo, where there's the robot thing, I think she's like, we got to find them and stop them from casting the spell.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out. I'm going to take that caster out first. And then seeing Mark, I totally forget how you said he got wounded or whatever.
He's bleeding from his nose and ear.
Theo's gonna like kind of like squeeze your hand and then kiss you. I love you, and I want to cast magic to heal Mark real quick before running off.
Roll use magic.
11. Mark, you heal 1 harm.
Hey, back to normal. Thank you.
And then Theo is going to run off towards the caster.
Wait, where are you going?
To fight! Theo's gonna like wave her hand, and I think a sparkle of red and smoke appears when she summons Cerberus to her side.
Okay.
And then I want Theo with her left hand, throw her magic in like a slashing motion to kind of open up a portal and summon a monster into this world. And if I can I summon 2?
Whoa. Hold.
You just did the thing where you're like, I want to do one thing.
Yeah.
10 things later. Can I heal Mark? Can I run off? Can I summon a monster? Can I summon the Cerberus?
I want to buy a real big house, and I want to have a lot of Mountain Dew.
Guys, I've been sitting here waiting to fight.
So explain to me.
If it helps, I want to summon the same thing, but double.
Explain to me why you summoning Cerberus isn't going to cost a magic roll in the first place.
Because he is my guardian.
Okay.
I have a magical ally.
Well, so here's the thing. You're not going to be able to do that on the move.
What do you mean? Oh.
Like run and also summon a monster.
Why not?
What you can do is run off. You can summon Cerberus and you can run off. If you get to someplace safe, because I will also say the very next thing that's going to happen is Mark doesn't see. I think the first thing Mark kind of becomes aware of is that things have gotten just slightly darker, and then he looks up and sees that Thugamon's enormous hand is blocking out the sun in front of him and has also blocked a couple of arrows from striking Mark.
Whoa.
It's going to be like, well, man, communications from elsewhere, and scoop you up into his arm.
Ah.
Usher the lot of you sort of behind a set of SUVs that are parked on the road that can serve as some makeshift barricades.
On the way to our barricades, did I see where the arrows came from?
No, because you are trying to talk to Yano and Catrell inside. And the other consequence of your mixed success is that it is like bad cell reception.
Okay.
So Anna would tell Mark, like, tell Yano and Catrell to grab the skulls and head into the woods, and would have Lincoln help to relay the information as far as like, this is how you get into the woods.
So yeah.
Because we're all connected, right?
Yep.
Over Skynet.
We're all connected over Skynet. But it's bad cell reception, so.
To them. Like it's like their internet connection is unstable. Their Skynet connection is unstable.
So do they hear everything that we tell them? Or
I am going to need, in order to relay this and have them be able to make progress on doing it, I'm going to need Anna to roll Act Under Pressure
Okay.
and Mark to roll Manipulate someone functionally.
Anna rolled a 12 advanced move.
8. I keep getting 8s.
Here's the challenge with which I am faced. The way that I was planning that roll to work is that they got a 12 advanced move to execute the plan, and you got a mixed success to communicate the plan. So they are going to do a great job at an incomplete version of what you want them to do.
Okay.
And I get to figure out what that means.
Is it possible for me to ask a small question?
Yes? Well, as long as it's 12 words or less and is therefore distinctly a small question.
Instead of summoning a monster, can Theo slide and hide in the bushes?
Roll Act Under Pressure.
11.
Okay. So yeah, you make it across the street. At your heels, crossbow bolts digging themselves into the asphalt. And you slide and dive to safety behind some substantial hedges that are across the street.
To clarify, the caster is near-ish to me?
Basically, yes. Of all of the riders, she's the one who appears to be closest to you. Basically, you guys in the cars that you're behind, and then you guys are across a street from the Clockwork Child. Adjacent to the Clockwork Child on that side of it is most of the bulk of the riders, and across the street in this copse of trees is the caster.
So there's 2 streets?
It's like a T is how I'm envisioning it, that like Clockwork Child itself is on the corner.
Yeah, so it's like an L. So like the Clockwork Child's here, and then it's like street on one side, street on the other side.
Okay.
Okay, so Theo is there. Most of the rest of you are across the street. Mark and Anna have, you hope, communicated the plan. There is a room.
I was going to say, can like, to maybe help with that a little bit, can Anna actually try to tune into Inako?
How do you mean?
So like she's tapped into like Inako's like sense of, I think, like sight before. And I'm kind of wondering if like she can sort of open up that connection like to Inako's mind a little bit.
To do?
To see if they are fucking getting the plan and like potentially like have Inako like be like, no, you guys, and like biting like Yano's hand to be like, no, you have to
course
like
correction.
go this way. Yeah, like I think Inako is kind of like
so much.
yes, like they're starting to do the wrong thing and Inako's like yipping at the heels like, no, go this way.
They open up the safe and they reach in and take out just Dockers and go to close it, and Inako like puts it back over. They start going into the bathroom and Inako like bites Yano's.
Oh,
just
poor
put it back.
Yano.
Oh, they're gonna be fine.
Okay.
Of a sort.
Did they go into the woods?
And you, Mark, sort of noisy, staticky, gross noise that their voices keep peeking up through stays, but their voices stop coming through.
I think we've lost them. I can't hear them anymore.
I think that might be a good thing. The woods is kind of cut off from things, right, Lincoln?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so pissed.
It's okay. We're going to like murder everybody. Okay. And so then I think with that, them hopefully safe-ish, Kira and Anna are both going to try to jump into this to Frey to help break this barrier or whatever and get to their friends. So there's the melted soldier, there's the caster, there's those two robots now?
Yes.
Okay. And one of them's on the roof?
No, now both of them are on the ground floor. That one jumped down to get his arm.
Is the force field physical?
How do you want to investigate that?
I think Kira might fly up and try to like see if she phases through it or not.
I'm gonna have you roll kick some ass.
Okay.
Isn't that what I just did though?
You tried to teleport through it. A little different. 14 advanced move.
Well then, the only way I have to describe this is like you can feel and then redirect before it truly gets to you a kind of pure pain energy. Like the touching of this is not only physically repulsive, the moment you made contact with it exuded some kind of horrid energy into you. So is it physical? Yes, and.
Gotcha. Okay. It's definitely don't want to touch it. Does not feel good. Does not feel good. And then there's a bunch of these like the soldiers on the ground, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Kira, roll read a bad situation.
11.
You, from your elevated height, you can see that there are shadows being cast and moving across the ground, and you look up and you can see in the air coming towards you are 5 more knights on winged horses.
Dope. I think Kira sees that, and then I kind of just imagine she has like a little holster at her back where she keeps her axe, and it's just like,
sounds right.
Yippee for me, and pulls out the axe. And then I think she's gonna fly towards one of these horses.
All right.
How far are we away? Am I able to am I within range for magic, or is that?
Pretty much. I'm imagining you guys basically being like 50-ish feet away from them. At least one of these guys is firing some kind of rotating crossbow at you.
A rotating crossbow?
Yeah, like a almost Gatling gun.
Oh, I see, like a turret or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then those of you who are hiding behind this big SUV, an enormous like ballista bolt pokes through the driver's side window.
I'm gonna kill this guy. I think Mark gets up and he's just gonna spin around and just lob a big ass fireball at him. The person that shot the ballista.
Roll kick some ass with weird.
9.
Okay. So that's gonna be you doing your damage and them doing theirs. So you jump up, form up a fireball, and hurl it, and that will like sail over to the guy who is behind where the melted soldier has posted up, and it will like singe the ballista he's behind and actually blow up in his face. But then someone else's, like a pair of crossbow bolts, will hit you in your shoulder.
Like lay back against the barrier. Ow!
And that will be 2 harm.
Oh man.
But I do believe that will be reduced by 1 because of your armor.
I've got 2 armor for the thing, but
Well,
it
just hurts.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I slumped down and I'm like trying to catch my breath because it probably knocked my wind out. Don't stand up.
You can hear something whisper to you. Yes. Stay down, Prince.
Hello?
A voice from buried inside your left shoulder says, "Hello."
Son of a bitch. Well, we can't have that. And I think Mark goes up for another fireball, but let's see. Well, I think Mark in his head is thinking that if he destroys the source of this or whatever, it just will stop. So he's going to throw another... I'm trying to think if he does something else here, but is the ballista still there? You said it got singed?
You want to go up and check?
Not really. Can I just like target the ballista instead of the person?
Yeah.
And like just take that out? Okay. I'm gonna do that because that's pinning us against this vehicle.
Do you want to do it with another fireball, or do you want to try to like do sort of like a more distant spell casting type thing? Either thing would be an option.
Can I investigate to see if like, I don't know if this voice, like what it is? Read a bad situation or something? Is this someone projecting themselves, or is this thing just like now this like a unified thing is stuck to me? Like what is on me? Assess the situation. Can I assess the situation?
Yeah, roll read a bad situation. What the hell?
10.
The bolts themselves. Whoa, this is good. Like you, as you kind of look down at them, you know when a piece of wood like splits at the ends, they like are doing that, but then also folding down, making like 4 sort of legs that are making contact with you and yanking the bolts themselves out. Where the voice is coming from is that this is like a hive mind of this pack of bolts. And then the blade of the bolt actually turns to look up at you and starts skittering towards your face.
What the fuck?
Neat.
I'm going to try to melt this thing off of me. And I go, ah! Just like just fucking like burn it to nothing. Melt it.
Roll use magic.
7.
Pick a glitch and it can't be hurt me.
Unwanted side effects.
Okay. Here's what you do, Art Clayton. You know when someone who hates bugs has a bug crawling on them and they freak out?
Yep.
You do that and you like stand up and like pull yourself up to a standing position and start like swatting and pulling at yourself. Grab these things. You do throw them away flaming and they like melt harmlessly to the ground. You keep grabbing at yourself. And by the time you are like calmed down and one of Donovan's hand on your shoulder and the other one has just slapped you in the face, you look down and notice that somehow you physically or metaphysically detached your armor from yourself and you don't know where it is.
I think Mark puts his hands down, spins around and looks like behind him, and then in front of him touches his body.
You're okay.
My armor. Where did it go?
You melted them, boy. It's fine.
No. But the armor that I had on me. Where did it go?
You melted it.
Oh wait, I melted the armor, and son of a bitch.
Hey, but you melted the crossbow. Good job.
Yeah, but, Okay. And I like slide behind cover again.
Kira, roll kick some ass for me.
Okay. 10.
Pick your advantage.
I'll inflict terrible harm, which with my axe, that's 5.
Okay. I told you there were 5 of these things up here. They're spread enough apart that going into a battle with one would maybe only get one of the other ones on top of you, but you are outnumbered. So 2 of these things are going to hit you at once. And I can tell you sort of in the phalanx of them, there's one that has 2 swords, one that has sort of looks like a spear, but it ends with like a buzzsaw that it can like crank. One of them has a longbow. One of them appears to have a rifle, and one of them has like a gun with a grappling hook in it. Which one do you want to attack?
I think I want to get the one with the grappling hook, probably.
Okay. And you are inflicting terrible harm upon that one. So you get up close and personal to that one and bury your axe into its shoulder, like between its arm and head, and do your best to hit that chink in the armor. 2 things will happen. One is you will feel a thick arrow bury itself into your own shoulder blade, which would do 2 harm. And then the other thing is that you will feel yourself dragged by your axe violently to one side through the sky as this grappling hook rider shoots across the air to another waiting horse that he's grappled to.
Okay. Do I kill the one with the grappling hook with 5 harm?
Not quite.
Okay. So that 2 harm doesn't do anything, though, because I've got my armor.
Okay. But now that I know what harm moves are and we're having a good fight, I think basically because you will be more or less disoriented. Your wing's injured. You kind of don't know which way is up right now. You're going to take -1 forward.
Okay. From the ground, can I have Anna shoot at the grappling hook one to maybe finish him off?
With what?
I think what she might actually do is she might actually shoot a blast of ice up at him.
Okay. Roll kick some ass with weird.
10.
Okay, pick your advantage.
I'm wondering if I can like force them where I want them and have the blast of ice kind of push this thing like back, like maybe into like another one or something. So like away from Kira.
I'll allow that.
And the ice does have a restraining effect as well.
Okay. This is cool. I don't know what we're going to do with this, but here's what happens.
Okay.
2 things happen. First thing, the thing you want to happen. So yes, you fire this bolt of ice up at this grappling hook guy. It strikes him and encases him in a ball of ice. From Kira's perspective, she can see through his helmet's visor, his eyes roll back into his head, and he tips over the side of this horse, which Kira is now basically riding, but his grappling hook is still attached to it.
Oh boy.
So he drops down about 15 feet, wrecking ball made of ice, and this guy dangling from the bottom of Kira's horse. The other thing that happens is, Anna, you hear a trio of crossbow bolts. You hear them just in time being loosed after you cast your spell with not enough time to move, but then a big mass of fur and muscles puts yourself between you and them. And then Tommy Sparks pulls you back behind the cars with 3 crossbow bolts in his shoulder.
Oof. Is he okay?
Yes-ish. He grunts.
And I think Mark sees that and he's going to just like rip them out and then just blast them with fire and destroy them.
Mark, roll act under pressure for me.
12. And I'd like to cauterize the wound as I pull it out so he doesn't continue bleeding.
I was just going to say, with that roll, it's like surgical, it's expert, it's really impressive. And you grab them, and with this, in the same moment, you superheat each bolt such that it cauterizes the wound on the way out, whilst melting and incinerating each of them to be dropped as harmless ashes on the sidewalk. Theo, what do you and Cerberus do?
Okay, so the first thing I want to do, which might be the only thing I can do at the moment, Theo, for clarification, is hiding in like the bushes or something. Like, can anybody see her? Is she concealed?
With the roll you made, to your knowledge, you are concealed and in cover.
Okay. Theo is going to scratch at the grass so that she can like grab some dirt, like a big handful of it.
Okay.
She's going to spit into this dirt and also spill some of her blood into this dirt and trying to like meld it and mold it into like a little figurine. And then she's going to grab like 2 pieces of like coal and stick them in the face like eyes. And specifically what I want to do, Jonny, is use my rote. I've decided that I'm going to go with clone.
Okay.
So Thea's going to place this little figurine on the grass in front of her and like hold her hands over it. And in Greek, she will say, "Dirt be skin, nerves be strong, breaths of air, let them stand tall, magic armor, this clone of me, and with my blood, let them be."
Okay. Roll it.
Cool. 14. So I believe on a 10 plus, we discussed that I get one clone that can do anything Theo can.
Yes. As all of this is going on for the rest of the team, you can see this thing sort of come and take form. It pleases me to have her hair still be red, and not the red that you were at the beginning of your introduction, but the red of Theo's natural hair color.
Okay.
And her eyes are cartoonish black dots.
What?
Okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay. And then the two of us are like crouched here. This is weird. What have I got myself into?
You don't have to voice the clone.
What have you? But it's amusing. So
You know exactly what you've gotten yourself into.
yeah, no, that's true. I'm gonna need you to run that way on the other side of the caster. And do you think that maybe you can summon a python, like the Greek mythological giant snake?
As easily as you could.
Cool. All right. Do great. And Theo's gonna like raise her hand for a high five.
The other Theo will also raise her hand for a high five and make like a pained, grimacy smile and give you a weird, awkward little high five.
Okay. I would like to have clone Theo get up and run. I guess not necessarily. She doesn't necessarily have to be sneaky, but just run to the other side.
In order for her to get there unmolested, it will be an act under pressure roll.
8.
Yeah, no. So from your perspective, Theo.
You said that she can do anything I can do, right?
I sure did.
I'm going to use 1 point to evade an attack.
1 point from Stars Align.
Yeah.
Okay. So then from your perspective, Theo, here's what you see. You see the other you kind of like crouching run, go off sort of diagonally into this little mini set of trees, and then like pick up speed, and then dead stop and stand up straight stock still. A bunch of arrows and crossbow bolts bury themselves right in front of her where she would have otherwise just been.
Nice.
And then, yeah, you could see her like pump her fist and then run.
We need to work on some cardio.
And then, yeah, she keeps going. And then I think you can also see her like throw up a hand that like deflects another volley of arrows with a little force field. And then she gets in position and starts to do her work, which I will have you roll also right now.
Would you let me, Theo, also summon a monster into the world?
If you want to roll it.
I do. Okay, so she rolled a 14.
Okay.
And I rolled 8.
Perfect. What monster are you trying to summon, Theo 1?
Theo Prime.
Yes, Theo Prime. Well, so, okay, question. Since I'm using magic to do this, would I pick a glitch?
Not necessarily.
Because I'd like to use my ancient magics, since that was a mixed magic roll.
We'll see. What are you trying to summon?
If you'd let me, I'd like both of us to summon the python from the Greek monster that was killed by Apollo. It's just a giant snake.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do then. You won't pick a glitch, and I won't make yours be out of control. But, Theo Prime, you are going to take -1 ongoing for anything you do with your python.
Okay.
I think both of you make your little summoning circles in the ground, and then both of you have horrid lights come off of them, and then both of them become pits in the ground from which slither. How big would you say Python is?
A huge serpent. That's what Google says.
Okay, I'm going to say it towers over you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So like tip to tail, it's probably 25 feet.
I'm imagining, Lauren, help me out here, that snake that was in Harry Potter.
The basilisk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very, very big.
It's very, very big.
That's like hundreds of feet long.
I mean, I was wanting to summon a giant snake.
I'm not going to allow you to do 2 of them. I'm going to say tip to tail, it's about 50 feet.
Okay.
It's still really fucking big.
Yeah, that's huge.
The only other thing I wanted to do was essentially send these 2 snakes on the caster.
Okay. Then I want Theo Prime to roll kick some ass at -1.
Okay. Can I ask a clarifying question? Because it's Theo, for kicking some ass, I roll cool. I also apply that to the snakes. Or should I?
Why do you roll kick some ass with cool? Is it like a stat
So I have
switch?
Zen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll allow it.
Okay, sorry.
Still -1.
Yeah, it's a 5.
Why did you ask? I don't know. Why try to clarify? Like, I want to know what the right answer was. But the other one was a 0, okay?
So here's what I want to do. Both of these snakes go slithering through the grass, knocking over bushes on their way, and then each of them rear up to the side and behind this spellcaster, and it sort of freezes, and she just grins knowingly. This woman who's otherwise holding her arms spells like towards the Clockwork Child and the attendant force field breaks her kind of tai chi in fast forward movements, throws her arms to the side and like drops to one knee, presses both hands into the ground, and thorn spikes shoot up in a half circle behind her, blocking the one that's coming from behind and shooting through below the chin and up through the head and eye of the other one, pinning it there.
Both Theo's crouched and hiding, but seeing this. Shoot!
Mark, what are you doing?
I was still hunkered down behind the vehicle, right?
Yep. Your vision had been, I don't know why we got sidetracked exactly, but your vision had been to try to remotely, in some way, take out the ballista.
Yeah, I was trying to take out the ballista, so Mark is going to just throw a fireball at it again and see if he can set it on fire.
Roll kick some ass with weird.
9.
Could somebody help in that sense by like?
You can maybe distract the person
That's
shooting the ballista.
what I was going to suggest. Is that could Anna maybe shoot to help out Mark by like distracting the ballista operator?
Shoot what?
Him, the operator.
With what?
Our gun. She's got a shotgun.
Shotgun's not going to be great from this range.
She'll shoot another ice blast if that won't work.
All right, we'll help out.
8. So you get a 10.
Okay. And you are in trouble.
Yep.
So now another set of things is going to happen. First one, Anna will like just putting a hand above the SUV so that you're not in any more danger than you have to be. Furtively fire this ice blast. You can see the guy behind the ballista actually draw his sword and slash it out of the sky, letting it just sort of like snowflake onto him. But then that leaves him unprepared for a fireball to land on the ballista. Fully infect key aspects of it with fire. The strings snap and certain parts of it like buckle under its own weight.
Was this the only ballista, or was there a second one?
There's a crossbowman somewhere who's firing these sort of living bolts.
The ballista was not living, though. It was just a ballista.
As far as you know.
Okay.
One of the other things that happens is you hear the crashing of shattering glass oddly close to you, and you turn to see that the princeling has busted through the window of the like convenience store here and is ushering Gale inside.
Aw, that's good. Keep Gale safe.
The other thing, Anna, would you roll act under pressure, please?
13. Advanced.
For some reason, you feel that you should be standing 2 feet to your left very quickly. So you jump to one side, and some of the sidewalk kind of explodes beneath you as a bullet lands in there, shot from above.
From one of the riders up there?
Yup.
Okay. Wild that I want to do.
Oh boy. Stand back, everybody.
Let me know if this is possible. Is there power lines anywhere?
Yes, almost certainly.
I'm wondering if Kira were to shout down to like, or actually just over Skynet, I think, to like Mark and Anna and Tommy and anyone who has anything that they can like use to keep these skyfighters busy, give me covering fire. And I'm wondering if she could, because what she's doing, she's looking at this force field and she's like, I can't get through this thing, but maybe a power line could. And I'm wondering if she could like sever a power line to drop it on these robot things.
Holy shit.
To fucking break their little maintenance of this force field. Is that a possibility?
I like it.
Can I do it, Dad?
It's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
It will require 2 separate rolls. One to get up and do the severing, and another to try and get the severed to land where you want it to.
Okay. I really want to do it. Sounds cool. Give me covering fire.
Whom are you asking for covering fire?
So for sure, Mark and Anna, and I think Tommy.
Yep.
So anybody who's got a firearm and or range, and then maybe Donovan to take on one of the other horsemen. So like each person kind of engaging one of the other remaining horsemen that are still up there flying or something. If that makes sense.
So yes, here's what I'm going to require. Donovan
Yes.
is going to nod, extend his wings, and shoot himself into the air with like a spray of useless crossbow bolts flying after his wake. Mark, I'm going to have you lay down covering fire on the ground, which is the other thing that Anna is going to have to worry about. I need you to roll protect someone.
12.
Yeah, there's power lines that go. I like this even more because what is going to happen is that Kira, perhaps anticipating your move as he is wont to do, Donovan comes soaring into the sky, not towards any of them, but towards you to take your place on this horseback as you leap off to go to your plan. Donovan, for his part, like swings the horse around, building up some momentum such that this ice-bound rider is hurling at the dual blades rider. He's going to keep them busy. So
Cool.
Kira, roll act under pressure to get down and sever this power line.
With -1 forward, correct?
With -1 forward.
Okay.
And also, the other thing that I want to point out to you is that the skies are darkening and clouds are gathering.
Wonderful. So I rolled an 11, -1 is 10.
Okay. So yes, you get down. There's a handful of arrows coming up at you from below, but you dodge through them. Some of them are actually taken out of the sky by smaller fireballs from Mark. And you like swoop and slash this power line and safely grab it from another end, and then you try to put yourself into position to try to make it land where you want it to. Roll act under pressure.
10 again.
So here's the best I can give you, because this is a good plan.
Thank you.
The wire itself hits the force field, and at first it's as though it's hit a rather violent updraft. And it's like kind of bouncing off and wiggling about. But eventually a part of it does kind of seem to, it doesn't get through, but a degree of the electricity arcing off of it does. And only 1 or 2 arcs manage to actually strike anything inside, but one of them does hit the male automaton. And it like creates a circuit which has the arc basically connect to him and pretty constantly frying him. So he's gone stiff as though every artificial muscle has activated in his body.
Is any doing anything to the force field?
No.
Okay, it's the other one then. God damn you, Johnny.
Sometimes I'm good at this. I'm going to go to Theo.
All right, so one of my snakes is dead. Does that mean I no longer take -1 with the python?
Yes.
Okay. So Theo, May, is going to run around the half circle of thorns. Clone Theo's going to stay hiding. I think Theo's just going to try and tackle her to the ground.
Okay. Roll kick some ass. It's a bold move. Magic user to magic user might not expect that.
Yeah. That's a 7.
Okay. So here's what that means. You like come circling around this and do like kind of a wide pincer maneuver. And she throws up her hands in a preparation for what you know to be the beginning of a magical ward.
Yeah.
But then seeing that you're not going to do anything magical, she sort of faces off in a more physical stance. And you don't like tackle her, take her down. You just basically kind of get in there and just the two of you start throwing punches.
Yeah.
So you land a couple, she lands a couple. Bare-handed means that she only does 1 harm.
Okay, I do have, whenever I suffer harm when I kick some ass, I take 1 less harm from
And this
my
is kick some ass.
prepared to defend the searcher move.
Yeah, you keep your fists up, you keep your shoulders tight.
Can I do one more thing or no?
It depends.
I guess, am I able to, as I'm like fighting with her here, like do magic?
It depends what kind.
I think, can I light her up with lightning?
Kick some ass with weird.
Fuck.
Duh. Fuck.
7.
So how much does your lightning do?
It does 1 messy harm.
Okay. So you like kind of keep her in the center of this half circle, and then you put just a little bit of distance between you, and you throw out your like whip of lightning.
Can I paint a different picture?
Sure.
Okay, what I would want to happen is like Theo's arm to start glowing like white and blue. Her arm kind of become electric.
You want to become magic?
I want to become lightning. Maybe just like punch her with my lightning arm.
Okay. But I do think you will need to put a little bit of distance between you to sort of start muttering and doing the things necessary for this part of the spell. And as you are throwing that punch, you can see and sense her getting to the end of a spell of her own. And you crack her across the face, which does like spark and burn. And then you can feel some of these thorned vines wrap themselves around your left arm and dig themselves into your bicep.
Would you allow me to block that spell with my force of will?
I would allow you to block it with the bracer you are wearing on your left arm.
Okay.
Roll use magic.
Okay. 10.
So yes, you could feel these like thorns just sort of brush against your arm, and then you feel something activate in that bracer that you got from your mother. And then it is like they are scratching against stone.
Ooh.
And they do not puncture your skin.
Cool.
I need Mark and Anna to roll read a bad situation.
Is this something that I would be better to use Spirit Touched for? Or do you want me to roll read a bad situation?
Not for this. If you want to use Spirit Touched also,
Okay.
because there isn't a perception check.
Yeah, okay.
That would be
It's a what mark?
Finish that word. Who, me? What'd you roll?
It's gonna be a fucking a 2. So I got a 6.
No, that's okay.
Well, you know Anna's really, really smart. So
She's so smart.
she rolled a 4.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Same goes with Anna. She also has that
Yes.
bracelet.
Well, Anna also has armor.
Yes.
And together we fail.
But the good news, guys, is that I did roll a 13 for Spirit Touched. She actually is pretty smart now, but everybody fails every now and then.
Not flavor-wise. So mechanically smart, canonically dumb.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Intermission Zone. I am here with none other than Jonny Grubb. Hi, Jonny.
Hi, Lauren. I'm Johnny.
Yeah, I'm back from Gen Con, and so is Miah, and we are both sort of sick. So we are going to power through this intermission. Gen Con was great. Excited to be here and talking with all of you, and hopefully you're enjoying the listening party. But Jonny, why don't you tell us about some announcements that we have?
I'd love to tell you about some announcements we have. So first of all, and foremost of all, here are some of the next episodes you can expect to enjoy from us at the Monsters Playbook. First of all, we have a super special bonus off the books episode that will be coming out next Tuesday, August 20th. This time around, it will be a feed drop of a live Monster of the Week game that I ran for some pod friends over on the Sero Does Stuff Twitch stream. In my continuing journey to not be terrified of streaming on Twitch, I ran a game that was a reality TV competition monster hunting show. And as that description might give you a preview of, it was nuts. So hope you check that out. Hope you enjoy it. And then, as usual, our next regularly scheduled episode of The Cover Story will be available in 2 weeks from now, August 27th.
All right, friends. As usual, I have some reminders for you. If you would like to support the show, you can do that by leaving us a rating and review, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your listening platform of choice, whatever that might be. Everything goes a long way to helping getting our show noticed. And make sure to tell your friends about us, because word of mouth is the best way to spread the word. You can also follow us on social media if you would like to connect with us. We are on Twitter at Monster Playbook and pretty much everywhere else at Monsters Playbook. You can also support us monetarily. We have a Patreon that you can subscribe to for some exclusive bonus episodes, some subscriber swag, as well as bloopers, which are hilarious. We've got a new batch coming out here soon. And we also have a merch store and a Ko-fi page. So anything you guys are able to give over there is super appreciated. And then if you want to just sort of hang out with us and chill, we have our Discord channel. If you are joining us now from our listening party, hi. But our Discord is a pretty chill place. We talk about this this game, other games that we like to play, do recommendations, share, recipes and stuff like that, food, pics of our cats and dogs.
And ferrets.
And ferrets, yes. Shout out. Anyway, come join us. It's a great place to be. These links and more can be found in our Direct Me profile, which is in this episode's show notes.
Our promo for this week is Mystery Frequency, an audio drama where classic stories of mystery, science fiction, and suspense come to life through old-time radio. Let's take a listen.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men?
Turn your dial to find the frequency of the past.
Captain Advice.
Where the classic stories of mysteries, sci-fi, thrillers, and suspense are found waiting to be heard once again.
Another case for Nick Carter, Master Detective.
You'll find a variety of those stories here, in their original form, where each episode takes you to another place or time.
The Man of Bronze, Doc Savage.
But only when you find the Mystery Frequency. Available everywhere.
The shadow knows.
You can learn more about Mystery Frequency on their Linktree, which we've linked in this episode's show notes. And be sure to check them out wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, Johnny, Mystery Frequency promo out of the way. I think we can probably get back to the horrible, scary stuff in this podcast. Why don't we go do that?
I'm not ready for it, but let's do it. So Anna, you tap into your knowing about stuff power now. And I can tell you quite a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
That force field is the kind of thing that has to not only regularly, but constantly be refreshed. And one, you can tell that the mechanical rate at which it's being maintained would be impossible to do for a robot that's also having its attention anywhere else. The things inside would be too distracted to maintain this force field, at least as strong as it's being maintained. And in fact, the thing that's maintaining the force field is across the street.
What's across the street?
Well, there's Castor, who's fighting with Theo, and then there's an illusory tree.
Fuck!
One of the trees is fake.
Fucking bitch.
Wonderful.
Something in the tree.
Well, then I think over Skynet, Anna would shout, "The tree's a fake! The tree's a fake! The caster, whatever the thing maintaining it, is in the tree!"
Which tree?
That one! I think she might actually try to shoot another blast of ice towards it.
Roll kick some ass.
Mark is going to turn around and do the same thing.
Okay.
That
I was
one!
going to say the hiding Theo would probably run to whatever tree it is.
Anna rolled a 13 advanced.
With that, so two things. One, Theo getting away would require a roll. If that's
It's the clone Theo.
Oh, clone Theo? Clone Theo, still, roll act under pressure. You're in a theater of battle. So.
Hang on. I kind of think that Anna's like, it's right next to you. Oh, wait. Why does Theo have red hair?
I rolled a 13.
It's over there. Theo, I like her hair. Oh, my God. Okay. So, Theo, you are running towards the tree you now know to be illusory. A bolt of ice soars through the air towards that tree, doesn't impact the tree, kind of goes through it, but then shatters on something inside. And then the tree flickers. And I think the way this particular kind of magic works is that now that you know that there's not a tree there, even if the spell were to be maintained, you'd be able to see through it effortlessly. And floating at about waist height, and also surrounded by a sphere-shaped force field, there is a open. I think Theo's the only one who can properly make this out because you're getting close enough to it.
Clone Theo.
Clone Theo, yeah. I have to figure out how to describe what size it is without using the music gear that I'm looking at or food.
Is it bigger than a loaf of bread?
It's about the size of half a loaf of bread. It is a music box.
Ah.
The bottom and lid appear to be made of shiny black metal. You can see the delicate little dancer has dragonfly wings and is spinning against a background of clear blue sky and fluffy white clouds.
What happens when Anna's lightning hits it?
And as ice hit it,
Ice, excuse me.
it broke on it and did nothing.
If Clone Theo reaches out, can she? I'm guessing she can't pass through the.
Roll kick some ass. No, roll plus tough.
You're a jerk.
I know.
7.
Okay. Clone Theo is immobilized in horrible pain and takes 2 harm.
Okay. Can Clone Theo use Force of Will to dispel the thing around it?
No.
Dispels a magical effect, blocking a spell, or suspending a phenomenon.
Didn't you get incapacitated?
She's just immobilized.
Oh, immobilized. Sorry.
And Theo, you would know this. I'm not going to let you dispel this with that particular move because the regularity with which the spell itself is being refreshed, the moment you dispelled it, it would come back again.
Okay. Can the cloned Theo read a bad situation? Would you let me do that?
Sure, of course. Lauren, you have questions.
I'm just confused. So there's the music box that is maintaining this thing, but it's not I don't understand how we dispel this thing.
I rolled a 14.
Okay. Congratulations.
Is there a third player in this spell?
Yeah, I'm confused. Like, what are we missing here?
There's the music box. There is the caster that Theo is interacting with. Is there a third thing?
I have designed this to be an impossible situation. Is there a third, what do you mean thing?
Third element to this spell that the music box and the caster are doing or did?
So yes and no. I will tell you, because I am nice.
Citation needed.
The music box is maintaining the force field around itself and the force field around the Clockwork Child.
Okay.
The other player is whoever put those survival shields around the riders, which was not the caster.
It's whoever brought the Sky Riders here or something.
Yes.
Can we figure out who did that? It's probably fucking the Star King.
I would make that be another question.
Is it the Star King?
No. Third question.
Is it Rex Crook?
Also no. Fourth question. I mean no.
I didn't use the...
You know better than to ask yes or no questions.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed outside of dealing with the riders?
The person who cast the spell on the riders and brought them here would also be a threat to you.
Can I just submit my 2 questions and have you tell me something?
What do you mean submit? Like
I don't know what
sacrifice?
to ask. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of a throwaway, but how do I kill this caster?
Here's what I would allow. You can sacrifice your last 2 questions in order to get Clone Theo in a position to automatically successfully help Theo land a lethal blow. Which is to say, you can spend these questions, Clone Theo will get in a position, Theo's next kick some ass roll, if successful, will be lethal.
All right, I'll do that.
Okay, so Clone Theo basically uses the remainder of her sharpness and intelligence to notice a couple of the fence thorns that are either loose or squeeze throughable and gets herself in and behind caster, unnoticed and prepared to strike. Cut to Mark. What are you doing?
Describe my surroundings real quick.
Have you seen the map?
You are where most of you are. So you and Anna are down undercover across the street from where the Theos are, taking arrow fire, no longer ballista fire. Honestly, at this point, you can hear but not see because you don't dare look. The pounding of horse hooves coming towards you, like as if to swing around, coming towards you.
This is the metal horse, correct?
No, it's the thorned horse.
I don't have armor on my chest, but could I create some type of a fire cocoon around me, kind of?
You sure could.
And wondering if I can throw my body at this thing in some type of short duration cocoon that just like embeds itself into this thing and just sets it on fire. I'm just wondering if there's a way to use my incorporeal with this. I was wondering if this monster or whatever was actually like, you know, if it is just thorns and stuff like that, it's not physical. Like, I mean, it's physical, but it's like not solid, so I can go through it. So I'm just wondering if I can like.
Right, it's also not a person. So if I'm understanding,
I was trying to get into it and then just like come out the other side or something like that. Like go through it. I don't know.
You want to wreath yourself in fire.
Yes.
Make yourself incorporeal, but the fire not dive
Basically.
through this.
Yes.
Horse.
Thank you for clarifying.
I love this. It will be a pair of rolls. I am going to make you roll use magic to create the fire cocoon.
Double 6s.
Sick.
And what was the next roll for? Just so my dice know.
The next one will be act under pressure.
8. God damn it, I can't get away from 8s.
So here's what's going to happen. I have a slightly more dope idea for what the cocoon of fire looks like. Feel free to veto.
Do it, because I just thought of like me and some weird amoeba fire thing. So yeah, go ahead.
So I think Mark is kind of like, I have an idea, everyone step back, and then you focus for a second, and then under your sunglasses, the fire just spreads and then basically covers your entire body. So you are a human flame with black circular sunglasses.
And I think I slowly like raise my arms out, trying to build power to like protect myself with this.
Yep, and it like just kind of expands off of you, like you are now a slightly bulkier human torch. And then you bound over the SUV you've been hiding behind, leaving a melted footprint on the roof. Here is your hard choice. You are running towards this guy who is covered in armor and has a sharpened shield in his right hand. In order to be there enough to burn the horse down, he will get a free shot at you. Or you can dodge it and do less damage to the horse.
Take the hit, kill the horse, or damage the horse.
All right, you leap over and you see this horse bounding, and you can see that its trajectory is that it would have gone in the street around to get to the other side of the barricade and essentially have free access to you and all of your allies. You intercept it, you go incorporeal, you dive inside of it, you can tell it's going too fast for you to allow the fire to do its full work. So you allow yourself to become corporeal again, and you grab on to the horse, digging its thorns into your hands. And then it whinnies ethereally, and you then can feel it's like an inches wide blade
Jesus
going
Christ.
into your side. That it's the sharpened edge of this shield nailing you in your midsection. You're going to take 3 harm.
Does his armor help at all?
What armor?
Oh, that's right. It's gone.
Theo's protection bracelet.
You can spend it.
Yeah, I'll spend that one because that will keep me above water.
Okay. The jewel on your Theo bracelet sparks bright and then goes dim.
Oh, I have an idea. Ooh, but hold on.
Let me finish the scene for you.
Go ahead.
Because then the horse doubles over in pain, making the rider leap off and land clumsily in the middle of the street. So now you, Mark, and this burning, thorned horse are standing in between, essentially, Ryder and the rest of the riders behind you.
Okay, and this guy is still on me with the blade, right? He's like, right.
He's a few feet away from you, yes. Near enough that you should be concerned. Kira.
I don't even fucking know what to do right now. I think Kira, is there one of these like riders that are in the air that she could engage with?
I think the one that you would be most interested in engaging with is the rifleman one who's aiming downwards at Anna.
Okay, yeah. And he's just like riding on a horse, right?
In the sky, yeah.
I want Kira to fly at him to like take him off the horse. And I think what I kind of imagine is she flies with him and like lands him on top of like a building, and so that she's on top of him. And I want Jonny, if you will allow me to, for her to use Dark Negotiator on this dude.
Well, first roll kick some ass.
10.
Okay, pick your advantage.
Force them where I want them.
I do think the doing of that is going to take you through the range of another one of them, and the one with the sawtooth circle will like catch you, and you can feel this like buzzsaw in your thigh, which is going to be 3 harm, minus your damnable armor.
So 1 harm. Okay.
And then you force him where you want him. I think it would be like within range on the same sort of plane, butting up against this force field. You pin him to the roof of, I think it's a law firm.
Ooh, actually, isn't the force field extremely painful?
Sure is.
Could I instead hold him up like, on the force field?
Do it.
And I want to use Dark Negotiator.
Okay.
And I want to say, who brought you here?
Roll manipulate someone then.
12 advance move.
Gunga, damn.
She just like holds him against it, and I think it's kind of like frying him a little bit.
Oh yeah. I think, this is cool. It's kind of just generic force and pain, but there is the matter of the live electrical wire
Yeah.
that will create a circuit down to him and yes, begin to fry him. And through painfully, bleedingly gritted teeth, the mageling Horatio.
Okay. Have I ever heard of the Mageling before?
No, but you have heard of a Horatio.
Did I?
Extremely briefly.
When?
The no-talent charlatan who took over for Tower.
Aha. So it is There is maybe a connection with Rex after all, you fucking son of a biscuit.
I like how you leaped out the last word, but you said fuck at the beginning.
You fucking poop face.
Okay. And I think Kira, when she gets the name, perfect, that's all I needed. And then she's just gonna like drop him and let him just sizzle on the thing.
That's what I assumed you'd do.
Yep. And then over Skynet, she'd be like, Mark, Horatio, can you find where he is?
Got it. And then
Mark, on fire, facing off against a giant knight with a sharpened shield. Got it.
I think Kira says that and doesn't hear an immediate reply and just like, Mark, and then looks around, oh shit. And then goes to like fly to help.
Mark with extreme Detjen-Wander energy being like, it's not like I'm in the middle of something. No, I'll just drop all this stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll get it. But I also think Anna would probably be trying to help Mark in this scenario.
Yeah.
Would probably shoot at one of these things.
I think I said got it, but it's responded to over our Skynet situation going on, and I'm facing this other guy down. Oh, let's see. Where did Ack go? I'm trying to remember. Did he just...
He went back to where you brought him from.
Is he still accessible?
If you successfully roll use magic, you can summon a creature.
And who is this? What is the creature that is attacking me with the blade?
This is the Rytar, the Scourge of Fate. You don't know much about him. He appears to have some kind of connection to the Witchwood, but doesn't seem to be for it.
I'm going to try to get a fireball gut shot on him. And if he attacks me with the blade, I want to stop it. Because I thought before Ack had kind of encased around me, kind of. I'm wondering, can I call on Ack to be able to act as a barrier between me and this thing, and present enough force with me to be able to stop that blade and get the attack in?
You could roll to call on Ack, full stop. Summoning him would be the move.
Which would mean I would get hit.
Potentially.
I mean, Anna is there and she's going to try to protect you.
There are other people there also who I kind of am expecting you guys to use, but I also am going to have some moves in mind.
Okay. I think I'm going to try and summon Ack in this instance.
Okay.
And instead of that fireball, I'm going to do something else, but let's see if we get Ack here first.
Roll use magic, Mark.
7.
Pick a glitch.
What are the list of questions again?
The options are effect is weakened, of short duration, take 1 harm, ignore armor, magic draws immediate unwelcome attention, and has a problematic side effect.
Unwanted side effects. I'm always interested to see what happens with that.
What was your other idea?
Take immediate unwanted attention, because I feel like that's something that would happen.
So, Mark, you begin to summon Ack into the world, and the form I see this taking is similar to the way that the Theos summoned the Pythons, where there basically is being built a swirling hole in the ground, and then a hand reaches up, and then another one, and then a head and shoulders pull themselves up and out, and there is the staticky, insubstantial body of Ack drawing himself up to about a 15-foot height, incredibly elongated arms and legs. And then you hear like a war horn from where the riders are stationed.
Oh boy.
And one of them goes, "Spectral beast sighted." And then you hear the drawing back of a couple of bowstrings and the lock and load of some crossbows. And then actually 2 things drop out of the sky. One of them on purpose and one of them by accident. A bowman smashes to the ground on his shoulder over by where the riders themselves are stationed, and you can look up and see where he had been knocked off of by Donovan's icy wrecking ball. The other thing is that there is a soldier with 2 blades locked and loaded, dive bombing towards Ack. There's your unwanted attention, boy.
Would you let the python that's still alive and remaining protect Ack?
Theo, roll protect someone.
That's 12.
So Theo, clone Theos, Python skitters across the street, goes over Mark and Ack. You can see the dual blades knight like pivot to block the bite from the Python, enough to not take damage necessarily, but not enough to not get knocked out of the sky. Actual Theo, I want you to roll kick some ass in this fight that you are still in with the caster.
in that moment that she's doing that, can I grab Mark's hand and do the melding of the two like I did previously in a long, long time ago?
You mean axe hand?
What's that?
Your Mark.
You said Mark's hand. Can I grab Mark's hand? I'm just imagining Mark going,
Wait, did I say Mark?
You and me, buddy. Mark and I. Mark, roll plus weird for yours.
Oh my god, double sixes.
We'll come back to you. Theo, what'd you roll?
I rolled a 6.
So,
Is Cerberus able to help protect me at all?
not from here,
Okay.
and also not with a 6. You, like, throw a heavy cross, and she, like, does that thing where she pushes your fist to the other side of her face, and then lets your momentum drag you kind of behind her, and then, with a small dagger, stabs you in the back, sort of kidney-wise.
How much harm does that do?
is there any way Anna could use Watch Out to help protect Theo?
Maybe.
Just she's got a move called Watch Out.
I know.
My bad.
Okay, roll it.
Hell yeah, 14.
What does that mean?
Sorry, Johnny. So when she does Watch Out, she can raise a shield to protect someone from harm. Roll plus weird. On 10 plus, the harm is reduced by 2.
Okay. It would have been 3 harm. So 2 comes off of that, and then you have your, whenever you roll kick some ass, even if you fail. What I want that to mean is that what Anna's protection actually does is forms a shield that pushes Theo in the back to make her momentum go a little bit farther, such that the stab actually misses, and you just take like a forearm slaps uselessly against your midsection.
Since she's paying attention to me, can clone Theo summon the soul blades and put it to the neck of this caster?
Roll use magic, or roll your rote.
12.
Okay.
So I have 2 blades.
All right, Clone Theo has 2 blades, and I want Clone Theo to roll kick some ass.
Okay.
Or wait, are you trying to do damage, or are you trying to like sneak up and restrain or something?
Can I sneak up and restrain? Because I want to ask her a question.
Okay, then Clone Theo roll act under pressure.
8.
So you can still back out of this, but your worst outcome is that Clone Theo, as she is, the caster's back is to her, but Theo's back is to her thorn wall. So you can get her, but then she'll get you.
Which me? I'm confused.
So Clone Theo can like get her in a daggery half Nelson sort of thing, but then Clone Theo is going to get a number of thorn vines painfully wrapped around her own self.
Okay.
So the caster will be restrained, but so will Clone Theo.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. Also, Clone Theo will take 2 harm.
Okay.
So you like grab your arms under her arms and put both of your blades to her neck and chest, and you have her restrained, and then you feel these things wrap up from around your ankles, up your legs, and then also around your midsection and arms. So you are also frozen in place, and they just dig into you with these thorns.
Are you talking about Theo Prime or Clone Theo?
Clone Theo.
Okay. Clone Theo is also unstable.
I figured.
I think Theo will like get up off the ground and like turn to face her, but then see that Clone Theo is entangled with her. Nice job, Theo.
Thanks, Theo.
No.
You can't softball him in like that.
Theo's gonna say to the caster, "Who sent you here? Who put that protection spell on you?"
Is it Horatio, right?
I don't know that Theo knows it.
Wait, I said it over Skynet.
I'm also double checking
Okay.
because I don't trust Johnny.
But also you don't have Dark
Fucking fight.
Negotiator, so I think she'll just choke out. I don't have to tell you a thing, human. What's it like to know that you'll only have one death? Will you make it good even?
Clone Theo will say, "Tell us," and like tighten and bring the blades closer to like her throat, maybe drawing some blood.
We'll kick some ass.
9.
For the listener, Johnny is making a shitty grin. Clone Theo pulls the caster closer to her using the blades, and her right hand flashes just a little more gray than usual and cuts just a little too close and does more damage than maybe intended. And somewhere in your memory or in your mind, Theo, you are wondering why you are talking to this beast. They're to be put down.
I think Theo Prime makes eye contact with Clone Theo and like nods for Clone Theo to kill her.
Okay. I'm going to just let that happen. And the thorn fence and the thorn vines around Theo will just wilt and melt back into the earth.
Kira is gonna like over Skynet again, be like, Mark, Horatio, the mageling. Do you know where he is?
And then I think he's gonna try to like figure out its location using TuneIn.
Again, I'm nice. Mark, you are like, that's good advice and a good idea. And there is a more pressing issue directly in front of you that is staring you down until suddenly that more pressing issue darts its head slightly to one side as a fully werewolfed Tommy Sparks steps into the street threateningly.
Yeah, I was going to say I think Kira is also helping out with the threats around Mark at this point because she's like, we need to get Mark to find this information. She dealt with that fucking guy with the whatever. So,
and I think that's why he like pauses for a moment because he's like, oh shit, that's right, I was gonna do that.
Same with the Python. I think like the Theos just sort of let it go play and eat with the riders.
Yeah. Python is definitely duking it out with the dual blades rider. Donovan is he's having himself a time. Yeah, I think he is at this point. Oh, he's actually jumped off of the wrecking ball horse and is on the same horse as the rider with the sawtooth circle, and kind of the same way that Mark and Theo were on the same thing, but in a different way. So, Mark, roll tune in.
Yeah, and Kira would like to protect Mark while he does this.
But Kira roll protect someone.
Double sixes.
I fucking knew it.
Nice. Kira rolled a 9.
Okay, so you're going to take some or all of the harm that he would have otherwise, which I think in this case is going to be... I actually think one of the things that I want to actually point out that I would like to be clear is that the melted soldier himself has not entered the fight.
I was going to say, I don't think he's done anything yet.
No, he is standing to one side.
Melting.
Just, yeah, with this like weird, gross, stationary dripping metal watching Kira. 2 harm mitigated by whatever.
Yeah, I think she just kind of stands up in front and like throws a wing out if anybody tries to get close to Mark.
I think at one point the shield like is coming for Mark and you knock it into the street.
Love how it just has like a tongue noise. It's just like toom.
Then he yanks it out and now he's attacking you, but you're in the air, and then Tommy is slashing him on the back and he's trying to keep himself in the fight while his poor horse burns to death. Mark, you get your 3 questions.
Where is he right now?
He's 2 blocks back. If you are looking at the Scourge of Fate away from the riders, he's 2 blocks that way in a warded limousine.
What's he planning to do right now?
Resummon the caster.
And Lauren, do you have any thoughts?
I have an idea, but it's not for tune in.
Yeah, what's the best way to disrupt? I mean, is that a question I can ask Johnny?
Could he hex him from here?
That's almost like, what is a distraction? Or like, what would draw his attention?
It's a different way to ask it, but yeah.
I think it makes a ton of sense for you to want to and be able to know the answer to, like, because you know he's the reason behind this shielding spell around the riders. How could you interrupt that? Remove him from this plane of existence.
There's 2 ways of doing that, though. We could put him there, or we could kill him.
Hey, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Could I use a woman with the plan hold to, let's say, have gotten in touch with one Casey Davis and maybe arrange to have a sniper in the vicinity and on the lookout for any suspicious activity, like, let's say, a man in a limo of one Horatio Downing, and maybe take a shot?
I think you could use a woman with a plan hold to do that. That's what that's for.
Okay, I want to use the hold then, and I think as soon as we heard that this was happening, because Kira has that earring that Casey gave her.
She sure does.
Kira would have radioed Casey using the earring and been like, so heads up, we have a situation going down at the Clockwork Child. Multiple riders from there encroaching in, trying to break into the building. Can we get a sniper or somebody out to get a bird's eye view, see what's going on, just to have backup ready? And I think that's what the call would have been, and be like, we'll be heading there, but we could use the backup.
And Casey responded,
You'll have the backup.
Great. And then I would like whoever Casey sends, or Casey, to take a fucking shot at this limousine.
Casey, who'd you send?
Casey would send Jesse.
You remember what Casey's cool rating was?
Yeah, it's 3.
I figured. That would be his too. Miah, would you roll I'm going to say act under pressure for him.
So Jesse rolled a 14.
Oh, he's got the shot. I'm going to write some fiction here, but I prefer it that you are like, you don't know
Who is on the other end?
because she just said you'll have the support. So you get in touch with her and you are frantic and you're like, I know where he is. It's over there. Casey, can you
Take the shot.
you deal with this? And then you hear a voice back in your ear go,
Wrong Davis, kid, but I'll take the shot.
and then there is a crack. I'm just going to allow it to happen because I love that you spent.
Do you want me to roll like extra damage and all that stuff? 'Cause Jesse probably also has sneaky, and he's using a sniper rifle.
Do you want to?
I mean, no.
Then yeah, do it.
So with precise strike, if Casey rolls 10 plus, it inflicts another 2 harm. Jesse rolled a 11. With a sniper rifle, it's 3 harm. So 3, 4, 5. He does 7 harm, and then if you double it, it's 14 harm.
So he's double dead. He's a ghost.
Yeah. Not only did Jesse kill Horatio, he killed Horatio's driver.
I think you killed him too far.
Okay, so yeah, there's a crack with that roll. That's fun because what I do like that means is that there's a crack and then the distant, well, not that distant, shattering of glass, and then the squeal of tires, and then you can see down the road a previously parked limousine that you hadn't noticed careens into the street and then just like turns dangerously quickly and smashes into a tree. And Mark and Kira and Tommy, the guy with the shield that you are fighting, suddenly stops fighting you and starts clutching his throat, and so do all of the ones in the sky.
Nice.
And so, if a bit more unflappably, does the melted soldier, but he just calmly turns around and walks through a portal that appears for him. So yes, all of the riders drop to their knees and then fall over and then just begin to fade away and melt into the sidewalk, asphalt, or grass as they happen to be lying down on top of. The force fields are still live though, and as you look inside the one around the Clockwork Child, the masculine seeming robot thing has started to like spun its foot around, revealing a saw blade, try to grind through the grout on the bricks, while the female looking one is just staring out through the force field at you defiantly.
Mm-hmm. Is it not shocking anymore?
No.
From that power line? What's going on with the music box?
It is clinking pleasantly, if hauntingly, floating at about waist height.
Is the force field still around it, or is that gone?
Yep. The other thing to point out is that clone Theo is unstable.
I think Kira is frustrated as I am, and is like, "What? That should have worked." Takes another look around. What is she missing? Can she read a bad situation, investigate or something? See if there's something that we're missing.
Read about situation.
12 advanced move.
Ask you questions.
What's being concealed here?
What would Rex Crook be after here? And how would his people have gotten in touch with the riders?
I don't know these answers.
It's okay. You're not alone.
Could I ask, what's my best way any way into getting through this force fields?
So, you either have to find a way to stop the music box or find a way to get the music box similarly removed from this plane of existence.
Does Thugamon know anything about this magic?
Does he?
I wouldn't make you spend a question on that. You'd have to ask him.
Any dangers we haven't noticed?
No, the only remaining danger is the doll-like automatons inside the force field.
All right, what's the extra thing that you'll tell me?
There are 2 of you who have moves you haven't tried yet. One of you has destructive capacity you haven't attempted, and one of you has transport capacity you haven't attempted.
Are you talking about Kira's powers with Ember or something else?
I'm not talking about something else.
Okay, well, John, do you want to try to see if you can transport this box somewhere? Or do we want to destroy it?
Is this force field Sorry, what have we tried on the force field so far?
Throwing our bodies against it.
Tried hitting it, you've tried pushing other people.
I think we've tried throwing, I think Theo threw, some energy at it, some lightning, right? Or was that just against the
that
caster?
Was Anna threw ice at it.
That's right.
Theo tried touching it.
Yeah. The only thing you have any evidence of going through is the power line.
I tried going through it incorporeally before or whatever, but like...
We're talking specifically about the music box right now.
But the music box,
But
right.
it does have a force field around it. It's just
Right.
obviously much smaller.
Is it big enough for me to fit in?
The force field?
Yeah, is this bubble big enough to like get in there?
No. So the bubble around the... Oh, this is much easier. The force field around the music box is about the size of a basketball. And then the music box itself is small enough to fit inside a basketball.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if like Mark can try transporting it to there.
I know, but to even get to it, I mean, I guess I could.
If you don't mind taking the force field along with it.
That's what I was gonna say. Like get into it, but then we could go around it too. So, do I have the ability to open a portal and shift the portal and then close it again?
No.
So we need to figure out a way to push this thing through.
Yeah, primarily your is to push things through. The thing you could try is to shift, like in the same way that you would take you and someone else to there, to take you and it.
But that would require me to bring it or like move it.
Yeah,
because that's how I. But we can't. We can touch it. It just hurts, right?
You can touch the force field. It would be a roll to try to take this thing and its force field.
Do we know where this thing originated from completely? Like what happens when we bring it there?
No, you don't.
In the spirit of saving music, I'm going to just bring it to there and call it a day.
Saving music?
Yeah, I don't want to blow up anything that creates music.
Aw, aren't you sweet?
I'm going to try and teleport this thing to there and observe it when it gets there.
Okay, roll plus weird.
10.
Okay, not bad. So, Mark, you walk over and sort of like get yourself up to and around this thing without making very painful, embarrassing contact with it. And then with a brusque nod, and I hope this works, you shift yourself to the sky. And to your surprise, you are now standing on one of these grassy floating islands. And floating in front of you is this music box, still surrounded by its force field. And you can hear the rapidly approaching hoof prints of a very swift elk. Well, pronghorn.
Oh, is that other one that wasn't there?
It is. What do you do?
Did anyone follow in after me or did...
No, you are there by yourself
By
and
myself.
something is screaming towards you.
I'm going to go incorporeal and hide and see what happens. Observe.
It's not invisible. You can't go invisible. That is not what incorporeal means.
I mean, you could hide in like a rock or something if there's a big rock.
You could go to find a big rock if you wanted to roll act.
Sorry, yeah.
That would be an act under pressure roll.
Yeah, is there anything I can hide behind or look
Inside
like?
of
Yes.
roll act under pressure.
11.
Okay, yep. You can find a large rock.
Okay.
See, I'm nice.
Hell yeah.
A very nice looking rock.
And in the way that Johnny Depp runs in the Pirates of the Caribbean, I think Mark just kind of runs behind it.
And inside of it.
And inside of it. And the rock coughs and then waits.
And you see this very fast metal horned elk, pronghorn elk with a armored rider who also has antlers on his helmet. The rider looks tall and thin and fast and has a helmet that has metal antlers coming off of it. And it's terrifyingly fast. Ride towards this thing and then strike out at it with a whip that wraps around the force field and drags it along with it. And it then rides through a gateway and disappears.
Do we see it come back to us?
Okay, then. Well, I think I'm going to teleport back.
It's not going to come back to bite us under the ass later, guys. It's fine. It's fine. How'd it go?
So Mark comes back, and Mark, you come back to notice, one, the force field around the Clockwork Child is gone. And then two, no, it's not. It's back.
God damn it. Okay. Do we see this fucking pronghorn guy then show up?
Yes, you do. He has jumped out of the crashed limousine. And then he lets loose the force field with his whip, which he then cracks threateningly at the lot of you.
That was really fun. That was a really fun exercise. I'm glad we did that.
That was a very Mark moment. Never mind.
No, it was totally valid. That's what Johnny told us to do, and we did that.
Yeah.
He's got other options. I mean, there's other places that Mark has access to. That's the one you went to first.
No. I mean,
it's fair.
Now we know.
All right. Did it work? Yeah. Oh, just kidding. Okay. So is this guy running towards us?
Hey, that's the guy that was. Oh yeah.
No, it's like scratching at the The asphalt, Theo.
Because Clone Theo had interacted with this force shield thing, bubble, what the fuck? Can I use the move, the things I've seen, when I encounter a creature or phenomenon, I may declare that I've seen it before. And the keeper will ask me some questions, and they will tell me a useful fact that I learned in one danger I need to watch out about. Because I feel like it's pretty unique that when we touched this force field, it hurt us. Because that's very different than Theo's magic. So I'm wondering if in Theo's training, or with Deacon, or with her older brother Bennett, has she interacted with that?
So I'm gonna, I hate these moves because they're good.
I mean, in my defense, I don't use this one that often.
No, you don't. So here's my questions. Well, I will ask you. Alongside whom did you encounter this before?
Bennett, my older brother. Actually, I lied. Selena. She was more so my teacher. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's just, why would you lie? So with Selena, in town or on the road?
On the road.
Once again, I feel like I want to give you hints that don't sound like hints.
It's just gathering information.
Here's another question. Where, if there is another hub of like Nessos family, specifically your family line in the United States with the name Nessos, where is it?
Whichever place most resembles Greece. So maybe the West Coast?
Philadelphia?
I don't know. I don't know what.
You mean like
the climate? Kind of sort. Yeah. Right? You know what? I think that there would be Nessos family in New York.
Okay.
And they would definitely own like a building or buildings.
So you had gone with her to New York, kind of just a sister trip, I think. And this would have been not that long before she died. One useful fact and one danger you need to watch out for. Because the memory that I want to resurface is that like she was sort of separated from you for a little bit and came back and tried to pretend like everything was fine. But one had the same kind of tremor, exactly the same kind of tremor in her hand that you are having right now after interacting with this thing.
In Clone Theo, yeah.
And two, this was, now that you are kind of putting it together, when something shifted in her, potentially ultimately put her on the track that ended with her death. So the useful fact is that it is Maggio adjacent chanting magic. So it has some connection to your family. And the danger you need to watch out for is that it's also not a like earthbound magic, which is to say the Maggio themselves didn't come up with it.
If Theo uses her gray eye on that, would it dissipate the magic?
I would say Theo would be able to disrupt the magic for a few seconds with her gray eye around either force field.
Okay. Kira, Anna, and Mark, where are you guys?
We're out in front of the building, I think. We were probably about to go into the Clockwork Child to check in on, not to go in, but to fight these robots, but then the thing came back.
Okay, Theo Prime, Clone Theo, and Cerberus are going to come running from across the street and rejoin you guys.
Real quick, let me check something. Will someone roll for me a naked D6?
Not me. I've not been rolling well tonight.
Well, this is not going to be like
It's not going to be a roll where high is good.
This is going to be like who to attack. A 1.
Okay. So as you guys were in the brief time when the force field was down and you were like sort of going, oh, we can go in now. Kira got close enough that when the force field came back up, she was inside of it.
It was inside the force field?
Mm-hmm.
Like where the robots are?
Yep.
Okay.
And the female one has turned her lifeless eyes towards you and flipped around her two arms to reveal a pair of spears.
Great.
I would like to run and rejoin the group and convey that she might be able, seeing Kira inside, I might be able to pop somebody else in if I can bring this down. Donovan?
Tommy is going to walk up to you and say, do it.
Okay. That's an 8. 7 to 9 dispelled for the Eye of Intercourse.
What would a 10 plus have meant out of?
Absorb the spell, store, or redirect.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So yes, you do this thing. You stare with your eye and sort of reach out with it and your energy. And then, yes, an oval of it begins to shimmer and actually like retract like someone is desperately pulling it apart. And Tommy dives in, then it slams shut.
Okay. I kind of imagine like Kira gets like back to back with Tommy.
Aww.
It's like, I'll take this. I'll take him. You take her. So do I have access to Ember's powers still?
Not in the Twin Flames way. Not well or regularly. You have to make a good goddamn case and be pretty goddamn lucky.
All right. I think Kira's gonna take her axe. Is there something like on this thing that looks particularly vulnerable? Is that something I could assess?
So you, Kira, are up against the shorter-haired boy one, and you want to size it up looking for weaknesses? Roll read a bad situation.
9.
Okay. Basically, at its knees and elbows are these like hubs of a kind of multi-tool. Like in the way that a Swiss Army knife will rotate in and out its things. And each of them, I think the one vulnerability that you can identify is while they are moving and while they are transitioning from one thing to another. That's when the armor that is otherwise its skin is split.
Okay. I think Kira would kind of be like muttering this to Tommy, and since they're like back to back, and is like, watch the tools. When they shift, that's when their guard's down. Yeah, and I think kind of just like circling around it and is gonna try to like look for an opening. Might try to like swat out and see like what it does with her axe.
I think if you don't come properly within, like if you're just sort of doing feinting, it's gonna just like bob and weave to one side or another and not put itself into exposure. The boy one will like kind of step to one side and cock its head. Are you the one? The girl army?
I think Kira just kind of looks at it and cocks her head to the side as well. No, this is a multi-group thing. We do this together.
I think you hear the girl one say, "She's souls to spare, and our master only needs one."
Kira wants to, with her axe, I think what she would do, like I think she would try to like feint as if she's like going one way, but then I think she would like come and swing up underneath this guy's thing, like right underneath his crotch. With her axe.
Roll kick some ass.
Well, first one's a 5. The second one's a 5. That's a 13 advanced move.
Well, fuck. Pick your advanced move advantage.
I'm gonna be smart here, and I'm gonna say take less harm.
With an advanced move, that means take no harm.
Take no harm at all.
Whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that is gonna be him like swiping and stabbing with his sword and dagger hands. At one point, actually, his porcelain jaw drops open and some kind of dart shoots out that you just effortlessly dodge. Get your axe underneath him and bury it in one of his thigh joints. And you can feel it scraping amid. You've hit a chink in armor and you can see sparks coming out like sprays of luminescent blood.
Yeah, I think she kind of like backs up at that. All right, keep at it.
Mark and Theo, you are basically facing off against, over by this crashed limo, there is a pronghorn rider that is re-straightening his shining metal whip. His mount is scraping the asphalt, looking eager.
Can I fuse with Ack?
Be very pleased for you to fuse with Ack. Would you roll plus weird for me?
11.
Why don't you tell me what this looks like?
I think what's going to happen is Ack, because he's connected to me in a more than normal way. Some would say extra normal way. I think he kind of knows what I'm doing, and so he'll reach out his staticky hand, and as I reach for, like, I'll run at him and just kind of reach for that, and then like almost like I jump and I kind of roll in the air, catching the static, his essence or whatever, and then land and just kind of skid with my knee on the ground, hand on the ground, and he's just like part of me then. So it's just kind of this like jump, kind of spin into him and then slide and stop, and then we're together again.
So how I'm imagining this end up.
Explain it better.
No. So the move I get and the like, my basic question was like, is he becoming armor? Is he becoming a weapon? Or is he becoming like integrated with you?
Integrated to basically give me hopefully the armor stats that I was missing for my chest plate, and then also the ability to flex my fire magic a little bit. similar to what I did before.
The way that I'm imagining this in my head looks dope as hell, because Mark does that, and basically like when you jump into him, he kind of like shifts his body to catch you, not like to catch you, but to have his body be in the same position as yours when you crash into him.
Yeah, he just kind of melds into that shape.
And then you land and you slowly stand up. It's like you are glitching. Certain whole segments of your body will just like shift to staticky white noise for half a second and then shift back. You are both him and you. And I think for the remainder of this fight, you will have your 2 armor back. And what the hell? You'll get a bonus to use magic when you kick ass with it.
Okay. All right, here we go. Who else is around me? Just Theo is not too far.
Theo and Anna.
And Donovan and Lincoln Ramsey.
I think Mark is going to, before he charges in and does anything, you guys got any ideas?
Heard it.
Camera cuts to Mark's face, zooms in on his mouth, little smirk. Oh, I can do that.
Mark's face glitches.
I mean, if we can get the music box from him somehow, something to ensnare it.
Flexing Mark's fire magic. Can he make a fire whip?
I will allow you to make it without rolling if you want to do anything with it.
I want to try and dismount this rider with the whip.
We'll kick some ass.
With +1, 9.
So that means it's you and him. So you're going to charge at him, throw your fire whip at him and his mount. He's going to like flick his wrist, and his metal whip is actually going to like straighten up into a very long rapier that he's going to like sort of run you through with, but then you'll shake off of it. So you will do what would your fire whip have done harm-wise? Never mind, I got it.
Well, I mean, I don't have a fire, like...
No, you don't.
A thing, so whatever the points would... I mean, unless we want to just say it's like an extension of the sword that I had, which is like, I believe, +2 or something like that.
So, I mean, if this helps, like with my lightning whip, it does 3 harm, and the combat magic, the fire on it is 2 harm.
I've never conjured a whip before, so however many.
So his stab into you is going to do 3 harm to you, which will be mitigated by your AC armor down to 1. Your fire whip will wrap around him, perhaps rudely, around one of his shoulders and around his midsection, melting his armor. And you will hear it and him sizzle a bit, so you know you have done some damage. You have not dismounted him as you had intended to.
Mark is going to kind of stand his ground, even though he just passed unstable, and he's just kind of holding it. Somebody step in, please.
Unstable clone Theo takes an additional harm.
And just to note, if he's still like lassoed, right? There's tension on the line, because I'm wondering if someone else might be able to like do something with the line,
like with the flame whip.
Yeah.
Not with an 8.
Okay, gotcha.
You did your damage,
and then retracted it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Your retracting of it is the only reason you are not still impaled on his sword.
Yeah, and then I think Mark is going to go retreat and try to heal himself.
I think Anna kind of wants to just get this thing out of this guy's hand. Would it be possible for her to like shoot a blast of ice at the music box to like force it back and out of his hand potentially?
Sure. Roll use magic.
14, advanced move.
Hell yeah. So here's the other advantage I'm going to give to you with that.
And it does have restraining too.
Okay, perfect.
Someone was kind of thinking it like forms a little ice cage around it.
So first of all, that happens that you like hurl this ice spike that isn't just an ice spike. Basically the same way that the living crossbow bolts unfolded themselves, this spike unfolds itself into a kind of ice cage that does knock and lock the force fielded music box away from this guy. The other thing that happens, because I have to give you a bonus effect, the growing darkened clouds form up just above you into a storm, and a white hot bolt of lightning strikes the ass of this guy's mount, and it like yelps and kicks and almost knocks him overboard. Thugamon flexes his fist. Today, fool, you face a young king.
Redemption.
Awesome. So that is, there's like a little ice cage around this thing now. And We established that like wood, old, like enchanted wood is effective against creatures from there, right?
Old wood, yeah.
Like Anna's wooden staff that she got from Lincoln Ramsey.
Oh yeah, from Lincoln. Yeah, that would do.
Okay. Then I think she would, after doing that, she'll try to help with the mounted guy and fucking whack him with a little staff.
Bonk.
Yeah.
Roll kick some ass.
God, Anna, 14 advanced move.
Fuck, pick your advantage.
Inflict double the harm. And her staff normally does 3 harm, but if this does a little bit more harm because he's a creature from there, is that like just +1 harm or?
I think so, yes.
So 8 harm.
Okay. As you approach, he's gonna like flick out his sword back into its flexible whip form and whip it at you, and it will slash you a number of times for I think 2 harm. But then, damn girl, you will take your wood staff and just eat this hurt and just not stop. When this thing makes contact, when you swing this staff at this guy, it goes through the neck of his mount like it's made of sand.
Okay.
And hits him also in the thigh and like knocks off his right leg.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
His mount like drops and he falls to one side and starts like scrambling away and frantically throwing out his blade whip in just sort of a defensive arc.
Mm-hmm.
Theo, we talked to you in a while. What are you thinking about?
Lots of things.
Like what? Tell me some.
I think Theo looks to like everybody else. Like, I have an idea that I can try. I don't know if it's a good one.
Well, we're all kind of out of, great ideas here, so let's try some bad ones.
Okay. Theo's gonna sit on the ground.
Okay, how about we just like give up?
I think Mark is gonna roll help on himself.
You mean heal?
No, he's gonna use lay on hands on himself.
I figured. Theo, you're going to boil in the green. Like, this sitting down on the ground feels like a Docker's move.
I think I want to retcon and just say she's still standing, but
I rolled an 8 for lay on hands on myself.
How does that work? Because isn't it like you take harm when you heal yourself or you're healing somebody?
Wait a minute, what does it say? It says, on a 10 plus, heal 2 harm or an illness, plus they're stabilized. On a 7 to 9, you can heal the harm or illness as on a 10 plus, but you take it into yourself. On a miss, your aura causes...
So it does nothing? Maybe you're stabilized?
I'm just standing in the corner and I go, fall over.
Here's what I'm prepared to do with that roll. For the duration of your fusion with Ak, you will be stable.
All right.
The moment you unfuse with Ak, you will... I mean, what harm are you at?
I got 3 left.
So you're 4 harm.
The moment you unfuse with Ak, you will take an additional harm. But you are now stable. Theo.
yeah.
What do you feel on the ground?
I think Theo's going to tell Clone Theo, protect me, I'm going under. And Theo's going to open up her all-seer sight. And I know previously the way that Theo done it was very similar to astral vision, where like she smears like blood on her eyes. But I almost feel like...
You don't have to do that part. You don't have any eyes left.
Theo's going to try and look and see what the Star King is doing right now. And I like the idea of Theo kind of like rushing this and trying to pull all this power and maybe it bleeding into her veins around her eyes. And it just going like white or gray.
I am going to need you to roll plus weird.
That's going to be a 12 advanced move. It's a 13, but still 12.
And it's not an advanced move. He is building himself some princes. But he has open next to him at all times a window into the sky.
Like the type of window that opened up to let the riders through, or what kind of window?
Yeah, that kind of window. Like something that he could see or reach through.
Would you let me, Jonny, also, because I would like to look at Ro, but I'd like to look at Ro during 3 different times.
Which times?
Now. Before the riders came here, and when the sea burned?
Well, I can answer those backwards.
Okay.
So as you see her when the sea burned, there are just a couple of flashes of images. The first is her like looking floored and confused in an expression you didn't know her face was capable of. This level of destruction should be impossible, and she's scared of it. And then she's shifting from the sort of half diplomat, half warrior role she'd been playing into triage mode. This is a problem and we have to stop it. And then she is at first horrified and then convinced by the Grey Hand's suggestion that they should just let it burn. Hasn't he earned it after all? What was the second time you wanted to look at her?
Before the riders came here.
Before the riders came here, she had been sort of pulled from her other responsibilities to essentially try to solve this mystery. Them being missing, them being where you were, was not known to her or to anyone in her circle. And right now, she is in Rex Crook's office.
Can I see is Rex with her?
Yes.
Can I ask what Rex Crook is doing?
I can tell you what Ro is expecting him to do, which is explain himself. But seeing things now is difficult, and maintaining this connection is no longer possible.
Okay, Theo's gonna drop it and gasp, and then reach into her duffel bag, where she has a, not velvet, but a fabric bag. And inside that fabric bag, like the kind that you put like jewelry in, is some hair, which belongs to Rex Crook. And Theo wants to use magic to inflict one harm on him.
Okay.
Interesting.
Roll it.
Attempt to maybe help Ro. 11.
All right. So I think that's going to just basically involve you like taking some of the hair, holding it between your fingers, and just slicing it. You are 100% sure that you did some damage to Rex Crook.
Okay.
Kira.
So, yeah, Kira wants to do some more harm on these things. They also have, like, masks and stuff, though, so I'm also kind of wondering if, like, this isn't another dead life situation where we have to remove the anchor. Problem is, I don't think Kira has any way of seeing that unless she could tap into, like, maybe Ember's powers. So, I don't know, she might try that. You know what? I have a question, because Kira's taken dead life into herself before. Would it be feasible for her to, using her life draining abilities, to sense if there's any dead life anchoring these creatures here?
I would make you roll plus weird to do it. And I think the effort of you focusing would leave you open to potentially an attack.
Okay, 10.
So, okay. This one swivels his dagger hand around to be basically an extendable spear that he thrusts out and slams into your chest for 3 harm. But you can then like read the vibrations of it and what's powering him. It's right basically at like where would be the base of this thing's spine, sort of within its lower midsection. And I think of note, the dead life that you've encountered before has been sort of globby. This is more crystalline, like I want to say cube, but there's more sides to it than that, like a multifaceted prism, like a big gem. But she
kind of knows that it's there. Can she interact with it? Like, is it physical?
To the extent that these things are, yes.
Okay. Well, then I think this is like some ninja shit. I'm kind of wondering if like she's got her back to the wall, so this thing is like kind of backing her like up against the wall. And I'm wondering if she can literally like leap and try to like flip over midair using her wings to then try to like stab this thing in the back where the thing is.
In order to make this slightly less easy for you mechanically, I want you to roll manipulate someone.
Okay.
To
try to like lure it
into backing you against a wall.
8.
Okay, you can do it, but you won't take a bonus to the next thing. So roll, kick some ass.
10.
Pick your advantage.
I think I want to do more harm. I want to try to get this thing, like try to ruin it as much as I can or disrupt it.
So then, yeah, it like lunges at you. You jump out of the way, but it manages it's striking at you with its right spear hand As you jump over it, it manages to flip around its dagger hand into a much longer sword and slash you on the way over for 2 harm. But then you land and like push the spiked base of your axe into the base of its spine, which will, I think, become impaled on and attached to your axe, so then you then pull it out, and this automaton kind of just collapses as though it's run out of wound clockwork. And then you have this like cracked gem on the base of your axe.
Yeah, she flips it around, takes a look at it. She might try to like pocket it maybe and put it in her bag. Messenger bag. I don't know what she carries. She's a reporter, probably has a messenger bag.
Okay, fair enough. Theo.
I want to take the wooden staff that I got from my sister and smack it on the music box. Music box is still protected by a force field. What if this horseman dude is left?
3 limbs and a frantic whip sword. I'm also curious what Mark is doing.
I mean, would Anna drop the ice? I mean,
there's still the force field, though, is the problem.
Well, but like, I'm just wondering, though, since this is magic not of Earth, like, if it's magic from there, like, I wonder if this wood could pierce through it. Because we haven't tried that. You know what? Oh, wait. You know what? Let me do a little experiment just for fucks.
The ice only has...
It's okay. No, it's fine. It's fine.
The ice only has 2 harm, so if you could burst through it, I'm sure.
No, that's okay. I'm just gonna... Can Theo, like, take her staff and just try to whack this force field that's around the Clockwork Child? Let's see what fucking happens. So, Johnny?
I'm Johnny.
Does anything happen when Theo whacks this thing with her old wood stick?
So I think when you whack the force field with your old wood stick, it hits the force field like it's just a brick wall. You don't experience pain. It doesn't give you a horrid tremor. It doesn't interact with it in any meaningful way at all.
I think because like everybody else, characters and players, Theo is extremely frustrated, and I think she just like screams and almost like, I feel like slamming the stick just continually against this fucking field. But I think also part of her like unconsciously like grabs and like pulls at the connection that she and the Star King have. Just like this frustrated like yank.
What are your intentions with my king?
Fuck you.
I don't know. I just fuck you, and just like to get not necessarily get his attention, but just like I think Theo's just like acting out, just like if somebody who's a bully is being a bully to her, and just I don't know. You can do with it what you will. I don't have any specific intention, but just
okay.
Theo's angry. I'm frustrated. I can't do anything to help and save my friends, and I know that everything starts with him. So what the fuck, Greyhand? Fucking answer me.
Mark, what are you doing?
What is Mark doing?
You could try to bring the music box somewhere else, maybe.
And then smash it immediately.
Well, it would still have the force field up, but if we could get it to a different plane that people from there couldn't go to, then we might be able to do something about it.
I mean, could I put it in my oubliette? And the only way to get to it is through me, if I even let them.
You mean your pocket dimension or the...
You have the crown there right now, I think. So probably not.
Is that,
could it be warded at my house down in that non-magic area?
In your actual oubliette.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to get it there.
I was going to say it would be a teleport. You guys good with that?
It's probably the best place to put it right now.
Well, not the best, but...
It's one of the best options we have right now because we don't know where else to bring it. We can't go there. They'll just bring it right back like some fucking boomerang.
Would it be helpful if we took it to the Dead Sea?
We would have to ask Endergoras for help. Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, or not Endergoras. We'd have to ask Thugamon for help.
Thugamon?
Yeah. Have Thugamon bring it to the sea, or we put it in your oubliette. Those are our best options.
I'm putting it in my oubliette, and Mark steps through the portal with the thing.
Well, roll use magic.
11.
So that will be enough. Because the thing about this thing is that whilst it's in its motionless, you can teleport it to here and there. I think the nature of your oubliette is such that I don't think you can teleport into it.
But it's like a closet, right? So you could just like go to his basement.
Right, but he can't properly move the music box while it's in this.
I mean, to be fair, though, Anna had encapsulated it in ice, so can't Mark just sort of pick up that ice and
roll it like an ice cube? Push it.
Here's what I want you to do, Mark. I want you to use magic one more time, because your initial one would be enough to get it to there. And I think because it is your oubliette, I won't disallow you from teleporting into your own thing. Just don't miss.
That's another 11.
So it and an exhausted you blink yourselves into existence inside your little magic closet. It's like floating slightly left of center of the room, and you cannot move it.
Guys, I don't think I'll ever be able to take this out of this room.
We can worry about that later.
Fair enough.
We still have some issues here.
Coming back.
So the stuff hasn't fallen or anything?
Well, it's an oubliette after all, which means
It's cut off from magic.
it can't do any magic. So you get it in here, and it like clomps harmlessly onto one of the tables in your oubliette. It's still spinning. Outside at the Clockwork Child, the force field flickers and vanishes, which will make the female robot flip both of her legs around to be buzzsaws and skate away, carving.
Theo's gonna smack it with her staff.
With her stick?
Yeah.
Can Jesse take another shot from across the room?
Yes.
Pick one. Who's doing what to this?
Jesse's gonna snipe it.
Who's gonna do it? A sniper rifle or hit with my stick? I love you.
Jesse's gonna snipe because Theo's not there.
All right, roll kick some ass for Jesse.
8.
He'll wing it, but she's still gonna keep running away.
Ugh, fucking bitch. Can we catch her? Like, if we run after her? How fast is she running?
I'm gonna tell you can't catch her. She turned her feet into buzzsaws and motorcycle speeded away.
Well, in that case, then Anna yells after it, "Coward!" With weird feet.
Mark steps through right at that moment and goes, "Me?"
No. I think Kira like looks around. So the one that she had fought like crumpled and is like gone, done for, right?
Yeah, you have a dead life gem with a hole in it, but there's also just robot parts on the ground.
She like flexes her fists and is like, "Fucking Rex Crook." Turns back to look at everybody else. Is everybody okay? She just kind of like surveys the scene. You guys all right?
Theo's like leaning against her staff, just like not physically exhausted, but just like emotionally and mentally. Maybe some tears on her face, and I think clone Theo like walks up to her and puts a hand on her shoulder, and Theo kind of glances at her and thanks for the help.
For clarification, is the other guy still around? The
masculine robot?
No, the rider.
The rider.
Because otherwise we probably would have taken care of him before doing all of that.
No, I think after the force field went down, he like followed the other ones, kind of just dropped dead and sank into the ground.
Okay.
Mark is going to drop to his knees and fall over.
You are going to abruptly shift apart from Ack, and you will take that one harm that I told you about from before.
I'm 2 away from dying.
I was like, Clone Theo's gonna run over to you.
And Ack is going to like point at you and shout over to everyone else and go, "Mark hurt." And that will capture Lincoln's attention, who is like pressed against the side of the building as though he's trying to give the building a hug.
Aww.
Sort of blink and pull back and be like, "What? Oh, right.
Should we get inside?"
Mark, where are you at harm-wise?
I got 2 blocks of health left.
Yeah, you're big and bad. So I think Lincoln's going to get to you and be like, "Somebody help me with him."
Anna will help.
Am I gonna be okay?
You're fine. I think she kind of like pats her stomach. It's like, "You're fine."
Ow, you're hurting it more.
No.
You might lock eyes with Lincoln, who gives you a look that says, "Don't promise that," and direct Anna to carry you in through the front, into the back, into the break room, into a sort of room off the break room where there is, in one corner, sitting attentively, Inigo the fox.
Mm-hmm.
In another corner, a huge, what you kind of notice now to be like a huge flat board that looks as though it has a bunch of like work kind of things on it, like a bulletin board and like OSHA guidelines and stuff like that. It's been knocked away from the wall. Behind it is hanging this, I think as you all kind of walk into this room, it's breathtaking, this tapestry of a forest.
The woods.
And it looks alive. The intricate stitching, like you can see the veins in every leaf and you can almost smell the ground. And then you can also see over, stitched in by the lake, portly mustachioed man and a young dark-haired woman. They seem to have a little duffel bag with them. And Lincoln locks eyes with you, Anna, and helps you to put Mark into this tapestry. Mark, you wake up and it does feel like you are on a very plush and nice mattress, but then you start to smell the dirt and leaves, and you can feel the wind and sort of the pollen just combusting in front of your eyes. And you open your eyes, and towering over you are Catrell and Yano. And Yano says, "So now how do we get out of here?" Executive producer Jonny Grubb. This has been The Monsters Playbook, featuring
Detjen-Wander as Mark Clayton.
Lauren Johnson as Anna and Kira Ashwood.
Miah Detjen-Wander as Theo Nessos.
and Jonny Grubb as literally everybody else. The Monsters Playbook is produced and engineered by Miah Detjen-Wander and edited by Miah Detjen-Wander and Lauren Johnson. Our theme song is by me, Jonny Grubb. If you liked this episode, please tell a friend. We love friends. And if you just can't get enough of the Monsters Playbook, join us on Patreon. We have bonus episodes, exclusive merch, and patron-only mini-series and side stories. Or join us on Discord, where we pretty much just hang out. We're also on social media, obviously, so you can get updates on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and Blue Sky. We'll see you next episode where, as always, I'll have some good news and some bad news. Thanks for listening. I do need, as per always,
Our start of mystery.
well, roll call, first of all. You are
Roll
all in the city.
Call. My name is Kira. Yeah, I like to party. Yeah.
Sorry.
We're not going there with you.
Shabuya, roll call.
What happened between last episode and this episode to Kira?
Well, Kira went to cheer camp.